Okay, so you are in Valderheim, I think it's called now, right? Um, which is the town that Jarl Valdemar Kvarsison um, has founded in his Jarldom. It's winter, or approaching winter anyway. It's like September, late September, nearly October, and it's cold, and it's Odin's Day, which means that it's the Day of Judgment. So people come from the various towns around um, your Jarldom, and they come with problems and tell you, "Oh, this isn't working. This is bad, or whatever." Um, so you're in your longhouse, so they have to like walk all the way through the longhouse, and you're sitting on the far end, and there's this big queue of people who like just have all these mundane problems they want you to deal with. Um, so first in line is this boy, Uli is his name, and he was betrothed to this girl. Her name was Floka, but unfortunately she was mauled by a wolf recently while she was out in the woods, and now she's ugly. And Uli no longer wants to marry her, even though he was betrothed to her. And her father is here, and he says this is outrageous. Um, this is a breaking of the law. He has said he would marry my daughter, and now she is suddenly ugly, and he's like pointing at his daughter. And now he's going to break this contract. This will not stand, Jarl.
I'll lean in, taking in the scene, and then run my right middle finger down the big scar I've got from a fuck. What are they? Dono Donovog,
Donnerolf.
Donowolf. Um, and then like bears aside my shirt and show some other like gruesome scars or burn marks, or hex singeings, whatever it is that I've got, and say, "Boy, Ollie, come forth. Do you think I am ugly?" I will say to him, gesturing at mine own scars and the scars of my companions that I've got on either side of me.
He kind of looks a little bit taken aback, and he says, "No, Jarl. I think your scars give you character, but you are a man."
I'll point over his shoulder to um, the house carls, or one of the men of Valderheim, an older man, Helgi, about late 60s, and I'll point to him and say, "Helgi, your wife is older than you. Um, is she beautiful?" And after he says, "Yes, Lord, of course," I'll turn back to Ollie and say, "Tell me again, will you break the law and not marry this girl because she is scarred by a wolf?"
Uh, he looks a bit shifty now, and he kind of realizes the shallow mistake that he's made, and he says, "No, Jarl, I will not. I will love this woman. I will hold my oath."
Beauty, youth, green things, they all change and fail, but an oath should never be broken, should never change. You've given your word to marry this girl. Because a wolf has bit her, that is not enough for you to break your betrothal. If she has slighted you, been unfaithful or unholy, perhaps come next Woden's Day. But otherwise, it is my judgment that you shall marry the girl.
Ah, Jarl. And the father is like beaming with a smile, and he says, "Thank you, Jarl. Your judgment is wise as always." And they get to leaving, and the next people come up. Um, this is an agent from Thorin's and he says, "My Jarl, Thorin's has suffered a raid. There were 11 casualties, but the raiders were repelled. Um, I've brought this man here with me, Yorman, and this guy is like 15. Um, and he says, this man has been sent by Karl Olaf because he distinguished himself in the battle. He held one of the bridges in the dock against 10 men on his own."
I'll pull off an arm ring down just above my left elbow and stand up, hand it to the young Yorman. I won't say anything, but I'll hope that like just a nod and a gift will be enough.
Yeah, he beams, and he can see like the approving looks of many of the like rougher bastards in here, and he just has this like shit-eating grin on his face, and he says, "Thank you, Jarl. I will continue to serve you as best I can."
Who led the
Um,
raid upon us at Thorin's home?
it's unclear. They came without banners, my lord, but we suspect men from the Riverlands.
I'll turn to the man who introduced Yorman to me and say, you'll take a handful of men right back to Doran's home, exhume any of the bodies and bring them back for inspection, that we might notice some telltale tattoos or peculiarities that may help us to identify these cowards who would
Aye,
raid
Lord.
without honest folk.
It will be done. So they leave. Another guy comes up. This guy from Jarl Donnerolf, who's the Jarl next to your Jarldom. And he's like this slimy merchant type, beardless, overweight. And he says he's got these big rings in his fingers that he rubs together. He says, Jarl, I've been sent by Jarl Donnerolf to possibly see if we could have 1 month of tree felling in the Ravenskog, the forest within your lands. We would pay you for such. 1/20th of the weight in wood taken, in salt, sealskins, and walrus ivory.
I'll turn to my left to Farlendi and say, tell me, Farai, what says Freya of this proposition?
Let's see. She wouldn't be able to cast magic openly, but how would you?
I just seek
How
Freya's
would you
wisdom.
see like augury? Okay.
Yeah, you could throw some bones, throw some runes, and see what the gods think.
Yeah.
If you just have like
Okay.
a couple of runes.
I'll
Yeah, the
call for the
material
angel.
components for augury are flower petals. So
Okay.
she kind of like just reaches into her pack and like lets them drift away. And you can just tell me whether it's wheel, woe, or wheel and woe, or unsure.
They flutter in a way slowly, carefully through the air. That would definitely signify wheel to you that this is a good thing.
Okay. It seems these men are honest, at least in the gods' eyes. I would recommend it.
Yeah, the merchant looks uncomfortable at your casting of flower petals into the air, and that they float a little bit slower than they would usually. But he says nothing of it.
And she just like locks eyes with him, but once the signs pass, she just goes back and looks to the Jarl and doesn't acknowledge him anymore.
Let's say, Draugr, you have walked twice. What say you of this proposition? Petals fall slowly, but still Freya says there is good to be had of this deal. But what say you, who has seen through 2 lives?
I study the man a moment, and then I move forward, circling him. I lean close once I'm behind him, kind of give a sniff as this foul look comes over my face, and I sneeze. I move back into position and lean close to the Jarl. I do not like the smell of this one, but if the gods have spoken, perhaps in this we can trust him. But I would keep eye on things.
I'll look back to the man with his proposition, the merchant, and say, I agree to your terms if you double what is to be sent for us. Let's swear before here all assembled, should you agree, that half of that doubling will be sent to the shrines of Freya for the gods' guidance of both our people. What say you, merchant?
You see this like look of consternation come over him, where he's obviously not as devout as you are, as all of you are. He worships money more than gods, and you can definitely tell he thinks that's just such a waste of stuff. A doubling. I offered 1/20th, 1/15th, perhaps.
I'll just remain implacable and say the gods have so spoken.
He brings his fingers together again and rubs them, kind of.
I'll begin lightly thrumming my fingers on the handle of the axe on my hip. As I watch my head kind of tilted slightly.
Yes, most fair, Jarl. Yes, 1/10 then will be provided for the weight of the wood in seal, in salt, and in walrus ivory.
Gunnar, you will pick 2 of your trusted men. They will oversee this venture from our end, survey our lands. These men wish to fell, and see that both keep their word.
So the dude leaves. And then you can see in the queue, like mostly looks like normal people. There's a good boy, maybe 10 years old, and he's like filth-ridden, like dirty. Looks like bruised and slightly burnt clothing. And he comes up like shaking. He says, "Hello, Jarl. I come from Felheim, and um, there were giants in Felheim." And like a bunch of the people, like the old bastards, are like,
I'll just kind of scan my eyes like in a panorama of the room and try and meet most of the respected men or warriors in the room and try and quell their laughter. Because I've learnt not to dismiss talk of these things from my past journeys. So I'll gesture for the boy to come forward and say, "This woman here is beloved of the gods, and she speaks with their wisdom. This man to my right has lived 2 lives, has twice the wisdom, twice the sight. Know that you're inside of man, Jarl and gods. Swear to speak the truth, boy, and then tell your story without blemish. None here will mock you." I'll say that with a little bit of severity.
He's like clearly shaking and very afraid of the situation, surrounded by all these terrifying adults. But he gulps and says, "I swear, Jarl, I'm not lying."
I'll clap for some food and water to be brought for the boy. If he looks so exhausted, I don't want him collapsing before he can finish the tale cinematically before giving me the name of my nemesis.
Yeah, you bring out some bread and some salt and a bit of cured meat and cheese, and the boy starts devouring it. And like through mouthfuls of food, he says, "Jarl, we were playing, me and my sister, and then we heard a rumbling. Boom!" When he like slaps the table in front of him with his fist. Boom! And then they came men, many men, all with red hair, and a giant, the biggest thing I've ever seen. And they started fighting and fighting all the men, and they broke houses in half. And I ran as quickly as I could to get you. My father always told me that you protect us.
Tell me, boy, did this giant, did he bear horns or not?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, huge horns.
Were they cut? Were they cut at the butt or long like that of an aurochs?
No, long and curled.
And this giant, was he as tall as a house, or as tall as my hall, or as tall as a watchtower?
Taller than your hall. It's the biggest thing I've ever seen.
So I would think with that, not half Jotun, but Jotun.
Yeah. But no one's seen a Jotun in thousands of years. Like, no one living has ever seen one.
I'll call for the Angel of Death and see what her bones have to say on the matter.
She would just be like, you've been around her before, and you haven't seen her eyes look like this before. Almost like a subdued rage. She just wants to run and go to Valheim, but she keeps it calm, and she says to the boy, "Boy, tell me of the men that walked with this beast."
They all had red hair, all of them. Red like fire, all of them. One of them was very, very big, bigger than even the Jarl here. And they fought like heroes from a saga in a shield wall, and they were shouting, and there was music.
Music.
Whistle or hum the music, boy. I'll interrupt.
Yeah, he does. It's not a tune you recognize. he kind of starts drumming on the table, and he just like he doesn't know the words, but it's like a chant or something. So he does
Can I
the
roll
rhythm.
history on that? Have I heard anything like that before?
Yeah, sure, roll history.
I will
Can I
do the
roll
same.
Arcana?
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, I got a 19 on the dice. -1 is an 18.
Nice.
I suppose I should have made this up.
Stuff.
Arcana.
For that history, you think the rhythm and the whatever the cadence of it all sounds slightly familiar. Sounds like an old song.
I got a 20 on an Arcana roll.
Okay. Yeah, so with Arcana, then you'd probably be more familiar with like ancient history, and just from like the rhythm and the tune, you think it's a song or a chant related to one of the Jotun called Farbauti. I'll put it in the chat. He's a fire giant, and it's like a song of his conquering.
May explain his redhead followers, the fire lovers.
Yeah, so she just like mutters under her breath. That was long ago. And then she whispers to Valdemar, the song that the boy pantomimes speaks of a fire giant and his triumph in battle. It's old, very old.
Do you think it possible, if this boy's tale is true, that he could escape from these redhead warriors and giant?
Perhaps if they were distracted. I believe him, she says.
Should we ride to Felheim? Would we not leave Valderheim bereft of our protection?
That is your choice. Can I
Gunnulf,
speak for your...
friend, come forth.
Yes, my Jarl.
You have two houses, but you must protect both. They are on opposite sides of the field. Word is that a wolf is stealing your chickens from one farm, and the people grow hungry in the other. What would you do?
You would have to kill the wolf, otherwise there's nothing left to feed either farm.
You hear the warrior. I'll say to those assembled, we must kill the wolf in our field. I'll stand up and say, I shall ride to Felheim.
I think Loy's dropped.
Oh, no.
Perfect. Then you can't interrupt us. Let's go for it.
And then we killed the giant.
And then, yeah, I'll take the beheaded fire giant and I'll throw him down before Jarl Lloyd.
Wow, good work, guys.
Oh, yeah, we missed
See me
it.
go.
That was quick. Yeah, I disconnected. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I rose and said I'll ride to Felheim after Gunnulf spoke, and look about to my close Carls to see who'll ride with me.
Yeah, a bunch of them shout oaths and stuff like that, keen to go with you. How many do you want to bring, is the question.
How many do we have?
I think we said you had about 50 warriors.
How many warriors would I estimate the town of Felheim would have had?
Less than that, probably 30 maybe.
Then I wouldn't want to take any warriors from Valderheim. A Jarl who can't protect his own capital is no Jarl. If that gets destroyed while I'm away, I'm a dead man. So I wouldn't want to take, but I would definitely be keen to hear what my wizened companions have to say, what they would recommend. I believe it straight up. I believe the boy's story implicitly. I don't think there's any way he would lie. Maybe it could be that what he's saying is not true, but I just don't think he'd lie. I'm not even going to bother rolling insight. Can't imagine a boy standing before us four and attempting to lie.
Hmm.
Though we could fill the endless text with what I cannot imagine.
Do you think it is wise to go alone?
No. Tell me, angel of death, cast your bones or petals. The gods will surely tell me the number needed.
All right. So she, I guess by this point we're like not in court anymore, right? We're like in a
I
private
imagine
place.
we're at the long table at the top, presiding over the hearth and the assembled, and we're like whispering between ourselves,
Yeah.
Okay.
or hushedly speaking.
All right. Instead of casting flowers, she's going to pluck a flower from one of the like bouquet displays,
Mm-hmm.
and if it's a good thing, it'll like bloom, and if it's a bad thing, it'll just shrivel up.
And the question is going alone or going with troops?
Let's
To be more
going with
specific, it'd be going with my closest companions or going with an armed shield wall.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine what good a shield wall would be against a giant anyway.
Yeah.
I would feel we'd need the magic of the gods, as that's what vanquished the Jotun in days of yore.
Mhm.
Okay, so you grab the flower, and thinking about going, just your Jarl and yourselves, faded companions. The flower blooms as you pick it, and a bunch of people around the hall gasp as they see that happen, like hushed whispers and stuff as that happens. But yeah, a sign.
Okay. So yeah, she says, "We shall ride alone then."
And who would we leave in our stead to rule Valderheim?
You have a couple of those girls who are like pretty capable, but you just name them, I guess, make them up.
I think in this instance, I'd leave protection of Valderheim up to the housecarls that we leave behind,
Mm-hmm.
but I'd leave the presiding of Woden's Day and matters of state or like a civil nature, not martial. I'd leave them to the smith, Agnar Brynjolfsson.
Mm-hmm.
Crewed him in my adventures, and he's never once lied, and I've never heard of him being spoken of lying. He doesn't speak much, but when he does, it usually carries wisdom, or it's at least with forethought, which the same can be said of some of our housecarls, but obviously they yearn for glory and reputation, and these things distort a man's judgment. The smith seems humble enough and content to work the forge and worship the gods, and so I'll leave matters of state in his hands and urge my housecarls to support him.
Yeah, he quietly thanks you for the honor. Doesn't make a big deal out of it.
Just like I knew he wouldn't.
Yeah. Some of the Huskarls seem a little bit miffed, but they understand the decision.
I'll try and comfort them by saying that should the time of the shield go and need be time for the sword, then your will supersedes his. But in matters of peace and judgment, he is wise.
Yeah.
And hope that they don't mutiny.
Yeah, it's a short game.
I'll tell them don't make Eric come back thrice.
Okay, so you grab horses and head towards Felheim?
Mm-hmm.
At pace.
Yeah. Okay. No worries. It'll probably take you a couple of days to get there. It's quite far away. These lands up here are huge. So just everyone roll me a d20.
Ba-dum.
10 for Valdemar.
8.
That's a 9.
9. Okay. So on your second night, I'll roll d4 to see who's watching. Okay, Valdemar, you're up and awake in the night, keeping watch. You know that these lands are relatively safe, but even so, it can't hurt in the deep of winter to keep somebody awake. Can you make a perception check for me?
Certainly. I got a 10.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of you're looking around and you kind of get this feeling that something's wrong, but you don't notice anything until one of the horses like makes a noise, like a distressed noise.
I'll heft keening, call sharply my companions to attention, and then start walking at an urgent pace, but not breaking into a run towards the horses. I don't want to run foolishly into a trap.
hmm Yeah, I mean it's dark, so it's hard for you to see, but you can see like the outline of what looks like a wolf standing on two legs, and it's like holding the horse and like biting into it while it's standing there.
Yeah, I'll call for health. Sorry, Dan, I can't see a character's name for some reason in the overlay.
My Hangouts is being all wonky right now. Sorry.
Yeah, I
Can
call
you
for
hear me?
Yeah, I can hear
Yeah.
you. I call for Arik and the Clericus, Freya, that there's a wolf, and call for Gunnulf to heft logs on the fire so we can see.
Yeah, in the commotion, you like see it step back, and you see it's not a wolf at all. It's like a man wearing a wolf skin, like naked, apart from the wolf skin, like feet and hands blackened from the cold. It looks like, and he's like just taking a chunk out of one of the horses, and he's like swallowing the red meat. It's like blood flows down his chin. He looks in your direction, like half feral, but begins to back away.
I'm going to run towards him and hurl a hand axe.
Okay, nice. So throw that, and then
Yeah, what a shot at
then
him.
we'll do initiative.
I think it's a 16, just let me check. Yep, 16 to hit.
Uh, 16 will hit. Yeah.
He needs to make a wisdom save, Lloyd.
Okay, just one sec.
It's nice. +4. It's going to be 16 piercing damage.
Ow, Jesus. Sorry, is it a fear effect?
Yes.
Okay, it can't affect him.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I rolled my initiative and put it in the chat.
Oh, sweet. Okay. Okay, so 14, Valdemar. Can I get initiative off you, Tex?
Shoved it in the chat.
Oh, grand, thanks.
Pretty sure the only thing Gunnulf said this whole session so far is we should kill the wolf. So check.
What's your initiative, Dan? When you get a chance?
My Hangouts dropped, so hold
Yeah,
on a
no
sec.
worries. It's definitely acting up today for some reason.
Is it since I joined?
No, I don't know. I think it might be because it's broadcasted, to be honest. It's usually a bit more buggy when it's broadcasted.
Yeah, I ran a game last night for about 3.5 hours, and it was just constant like hangout crash and problems. And we tried like different people hosting it and that kind of using different versions, and nothing seemed to work.
I'm probably going to turn off the video if I can see like this. Shit. Alright. I think it's a 5.
5, okay. Wait, what's your character's name again?
Hellgear.
Okay.
Like Hail Gear. Basically.
Okay. Okay, so this wolfman takes this axe and just like looks at it like in disgust and snarls, and then runs forward on 4 legs towards you, Valdemar, and he's going to try and like swing at you with his fists and try and bite you.
Danger.
He's doing so recklessly.
I like that. I like that in a wolf, man.
Yeah, so that's an 18.
Yeah, that hits. That's what he needs to hit.
Second one's a crit.
Oh shit!
Donor!
So the third one's going to hit as well. So it's going to be 2 hits and a crit.
Danger.
Yeah, this guy just like explodes suddenly with activity and just like thuds toward you with unnatural speed and just begins like ripping and bits of flesh off you.
Oh gosh. So when his friends ask him about like the axe wound in his chest, he can say with all truth, "You should see the other guy."
Yeah, yeah, big time. Okay, it's going to be 28 points of damage.
I need to roll a d10 quickly before I die.
Oh my god. 10.
It's a 10. Sweet.
So that's not bad. I think it's reactions.
Yep. Reactions until the end of my next turn are lost.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys just...
Was that 28, did you say, or 24?
28.
Imagine if you rolled a 1. Oh god.
Oh god, start the campaign.
I would just be like, "See, Lord." Nah, kidding.
Yeah, so you guys just see this blur just rush past, and there's like this acrid stench off him, like he hasn't washed in years, and he just like begins to like rend into Valdemar, like ripping, like with his hands, just like ripping muscles and stuff, and just like biting deep into Valdemar's neck, and snarling and howling. And then it's Gunnulf's turn.
Gunnulf, aid me!
Yep, seeing my arrow take a blow like that, I'm going to immediately rage, run forward and attack. For a 18 to hit.
Yes, absolutely.
Try to remember what my damage die is. That's what I thought. Pure damage, 5.
Okay. 2 attacks, right?
Oh, hold on, 7, sorry.
7.
I'm forgetting to add my rage here to that.
Yeah, no worries. That's a hit.
Yeah. 4. 9 on that one.
Okay, nice. And what are you using an axe?
War axe, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so you rush up and you like thunk into this guy's back, and then thunk again into it. He doesn't even seem to look at you. He's like so focused on Valdemar in his hunger. Okay, then it's your turn, Valdemar.
I'm going to grab out my boar spear, and I want to try and impale this thing. I want to aim for this, like its navels. I want to like drive the spearhead into the base of its spine.
Okay, gnarly.
And then if I do that successfully, I'm going to action surge to try and lift it off the ground with the spear. But here's my attacks first. Yeah, a 19 and a hit.
Yep, 2 hits.
22 piercing damage.
Okay, ouch. And it's runic, so it's magic, isn't it?
Oh, sorry, yeah, there's one damage on top of that. I forgot about that.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, that's roll me a d10. Or actually, you can just impale him if you prefer that.
I rolled a 1 for the d10.
Down. Okay. Yeah, unreal. So just explain it then. Describe it to me.
Once I feel like the thunk of the leaf-bladed boar spear tip go into the base of his spine, I'll just like reach back and like heft my way into it and try and push up, driving him till he's up in the air, and then like slide down till the weight of his body cracks his spine, and when he kind of goes in two, then just falls down the spear, and I'll cast him down into the snow, drop to my knees, clutching at my wound as like blood spills out my like yellow and cracked teeth down into my straw beard, which is now flecked with grey. And yeah, just winded, near exhausted.
He's like initially up there on the spear, he's like impaled, and he's like trying to reach you desperately with his fucking hands, but he can't, and he just eventually like lets out a sigh and falls dead.
As the man wolf is still in his death throes, I move up to him and plant my palm on the wound so that it's bloodied. And I begin murmuring softly as I move up to our Jarl and leave a bloody print on his cheek. So that's going to be healing for 9 points of damage.
Nice.
Thank you, Eric.
Yeah, so looking at this guy's body, he's just like a naked man now. Doesn't look half as intimidating, but his hands and feet are like black from frost, and his eyes are like half mad, even in death. And he's just wearing like a badly made wolf pelt over him. Very odd.
I'm going to inspect this guy, like grab my blade and like cut down the front of his shirt. I want to look at his chest, belly, and back to see any like distinguishing tattoos, and just ask my companions if any of them know this man, if he's one of ours from Valderheim, Felheim, or the surrounds.
I'd check to see if the arms and legs are from the cold, or they're obviously from the cold, right? They're not like burns.
Give me an investigation.
All right. 15.
Yeah, well spotted. They are from. It looks like they've been burnt, like blackened with soot, rather than with cold.
And like I said, my character's like family is from Valheim, so would I recognize this guy or?
No, you know of these guys, Ulf and Nar, who like try to personify the wolf as best they can. They're like wild men, live out in the wilderness, and they're said to eat eyes and eat whatever they can. So he was obviously just starving and just had risked trying to eat one of your horses still alive, like half mad.
Okay. Seems his hands and feet were burned. It's a madman. No one I recognize. You're muted if you're speaking, Nick.
How could he survive out here in the snow? I wonder why he was sooted such. He was feral and hungry enough, to eat a horse.
Literally. Let's see. So it's like nighttime by now, or?
Yeah, it's the middle of the night. Yeah.
Okay. So if I have Lehman's tiny hut, could I like find shelter? She wouldn't like summon a hut.
I get you. Yeah. You could like skin it as like you're able to maybe lessen the wind or whatever, and find like some sort of quiet shelter.
Yeah. She just says, "Come, I know a place," and then she just walks off with like determined steps, as if she knows where she's going. And you guys come upon a cave, like a small cave that seems almost warm rather than cold.
Yeah, you can rest the night there, and no more incidents.
Okay.
Can we cut up the dead horse, put it into strips and smoke it for food?
Yeah, it's not even dead. I mean, it probably will die though.
Oh.
So yeah, like he took a chunk. He took a chunk out of its throat with his teeth.
If none of us here can save it, I'll end its agony.
Yeah, I don't have anything for that.
Well, I would be able to prevent it from dying.
And by proxy, prevent one of us from walking to Felheim.
Yeah. So much like I did with the Jarl, this time using Spare the Dying to close the wound and keep it from passing on.
Yeah.
I will dip my hand in the blood of the wolf man and place it over the wound of the horse as I mutter to myself quietly.
Yeah, the wound closes. which is kind of normal for you, but to anyone else would be incredible. And the horse is able to recover. It's skittish for the rest of the journey, obviously very nervous of seeing anyone it's not familiar with, but you save it.
But duck out. Sorry, guys. I'll just be resting.
Yeah. Hoagie just starts a fire, and room's like really comfortable.
Yeah, it's really welcome. It's pretty miserable out here. It's not as bad as it would be further north, but it's definitely winter, and it's cold, rainy, things of that nature. So it's nice to get some heat into you, get some warmth into your bones, and you can get a good rest in and head out in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the next morning you're able to make good time and finish your journey towards Felheim. And Felheim's on top of a hill in this big valley, but you can see already as you approach that there's smoke coming from the town. Yeah, coming closer you'll see the houses just ruined, totally destroyed. One of the buildings looks like it's been cut in half. And you can even see like 4 men who are standing in the shield wall who have just been like crushed, like pretty much sliced in half. Destruction of like you've never seen before.
So once we see like the column of smoke rising on the horizon, Helgi would have gone off at a gallop ahead of the group. And then when she saw like everything destroyed and rended, she probably would have just fell off her horse basically, and just like panicked, look for a house, and realizing that's gone, would just kind of turn to Valdemar and say, "Must find them. We have to hurry."
We'll make haste. So should we split up to cover ground to looking, or stay safely together?
No. I don't know, she says. We should find out which way they went.
Give us a perception check.
Okay. Ooh, 9.
Yeah, you just see destruction everywhere you look.
7.
I'm going to do an investigation to find any survivors.
Okay.
All here are dead.
Yeah, Helgi's too panicked to really focus on looking.
When we first come upon the site of the destruction, my head begins to throb as I slow my horse, taking in the sight of it all as my heartbeat quickens in my chest, my palms becoming sweaty. As the others begin talking of plans, I will try to focus and see signs of where there may have been survivors or prisoners taken. I got a 23 on my perception.
Nice. When you first close your eyes unexpectedly, you're like, you open them and they've rolled back in your head, and you look up to the sky and you're just transported to your previous life, and you're tied up like hands and arms tied out wide, and you just hear this thunderous crack of a whip as it cracks into your back, like rending ribs and tearing out organs as you scream, as a Jotun whips you with a fire whip, and then you're back. And you are able to see a couple of things. First of all, you notice an owl sitting on one of the perches, and it looks in your direction. It's an omen. Seeing an owl suggests that someone that you see will have 2 faces. But you also hear some noise, like people moving, hushed tones, sort of like further into the town.
As I come back from that brief vision, my body shuddering remembered pain, sweat covering my brow, as I lift a shaky hand pointing deeper into the city. There's someone within.
Just nod silently, and we'll in a line advance where Dragia points.
Advancing to the town, it's just more destruction everywhere you look. You even see one man who's like basically like pinned to a house with a sword through his chest. But other than that, there's no actual bodies. You haven't seen any bodies so far, just like destruction of property and stuff like that. But as you go all the way into the town, you round a corner and you can see a couple of men, all with red hair, and they're piling bodies into a pyramid. They're just throwing them all on top of each other. And they're just kind of quietly talking amongst themselves as they do this. One of them is particularly large, and his hair is like multicolored, like a fire, and it's like huge mane of hair above him. He's probably like near 7 foot, and he's kind of just like pointing solemnly as they pile the bodies.
How many do we see exactly?
There's the large man. There's 2 who have swords at the belts, and 4 with axes.
Those are really good odds.
Yeah. Can we understand what they're saying?
Yes, make a perception check. They're quite far away still. They haven't noticed you, so you'll have to listen quite carefully.
Helger would just like turn and just motion to quiet down. And she got a 17.
Okay. Yeah, they're speaking. They're not speaking the language of Isklov. They're speaking it an older language, more guttural. The language that song that you'd heard is in, and that's like the language of the giants, which is like kind of like Latin in our world, or Draconic in the D&D setting. It's like the ancient language, you know. And he's just saying, "More for the pyre, more bodies for the pyre."
She would grow wroth at hearing what they're saying, and she would loose an arrow at the big one unless somebody stops her.
Nope, looks like you're good.
Alright, I'm gonna cast Hex and ask the goddess to strike down these savages who attacked these innocent people, and then she's gonna attack. If they aren't aware of me, do I have advantage?
Sir.
Alright.
I'll be reaching into my pouch to pull something out as she begins to loose an arrow.
Okay.
Yeah, she just like pulls straight back with a 19 at the big guy.
Oh yeah, that's a hit.
She just like goes and shoots it, and that does that does 10 damage.
Nice. Yeah, it thunks him in the shoulder, and he kind of looks for the source, and then locks eyes on you. He just shouts to the rest of them, "Shield wall!" And they all stand up from what they're doing and run into position. So let's roll initiative.
See if my video starts working again. Alright. I think we lost Nick.
Yeah, I guess we'll just deal him in when he gets here. Okay. So, Argyr, you're the first act.
At this point, is everybody covered by the shield wall?
No, they're still kind of getting into position.
Okay, so as I was reaching out into my pouch, I pull out a small, which looks like a small gnarled piece of wood with a small dagger. And as I bring
Can
it
you put
up,
it away, please?
almost like as if striking a flint,
Okay.
I do that, and there's a spark. And from that, this flash of light streaks out towards the leader. Basically, I'm doing guiding bolt.
Nice.
So I gotta make attack. Oh, I got 20, so,
Oh,
natural
nice.
20, so total of 26.
Yeah. That's you can crit on spells that you have to shoot, right? So
So that's what, roll it twice.
roll it twice. Yeah.
Okay, so that's 8, 10, 16. This is radiant damage. 16, 31, 37.
Ouch. Okay, roll me a d10.
I was muted. Sorry, 3.
3. Okay, I gotta grab my doing book. And I think that's really good. Yeah, he drops to 0 hit points, but is stable. So, system shock. You just like blast this guy with this radiant power, and like the sky almost rumbles with thunder as he is just like enveloped in these holy flames, and falls to his knees. Nice. Okay. He is next. He makes a death save, I guess. He's stable and he's important, so he gets to do that. He fails that one. Helgir?
I swear to God, man, like, Hangouts is being so wonky.
Yeah, it's been real wonky today. I don't know what's going on.
Alright, seeing that the big guy's down, she's just going to turn her gaze on whoever's closest, and she's just gonna start muttering like under her breath, just like a prayer of power to herself, and she's gonna loose 2 arrows at that guy. First one is a 25.
Yep.
Second one is a 25.
It's
Alright. This one does 17 damage to that guy.
Wow.
Second one does 15 damage. So that it's like a reskinned Eldritch Blast and Hex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so one of the axemen like falls to one knee, but just manages to barely stand back up again as you like pelt him with these arrows that are imbued with force beyond that of mortals. Right, the axemen.
She just shouts across the distance, "I've come to burn you away!"
Nice. Oh, Valdemar, just roll me initiative when you get a chance. I'll seed you in.
Certainly. Sorry, guys, I don't know what happened. My internet just fully cut out. Sorry about that.
Oh, good. Plagued with issues today.
Yeah, my bones has been really slow, so I'm just going to roll with dice. Is that cool?
Yep, cool.
That's what I'm
13
doing.
for my initiative.
Okay. Okay, the axemen. The 4 of them rush together into a shield wall and begin to like bang their axes on their shields, and then they'll all throw an axe. So 2 towards Helgir and 2 towards Draugr, because they're the ones who did all the stuff.
How far away are we?
You're not that far. Like
Okay.
40-ish feet. They'll move forward to within 30. You were like behind a building or whatever, so okay. I think they both miss unless 17 might hit you, Helgir. Okay, I'll roll for you, Droger. I think he's dropped. 17 hit you, Droger?
Yep.
Okay. That will do. No, that's a d20.
No.
Oh god, 5 points of damage as an axe thuds into you. Does a 17 hit you, Helger?
Probably. Yeah.
Okay. You'll take 6 damage as an axe thuds into you. So that's the Axemen. Gunnulf.
Gunnulf is, this whole time, he's been basically having one of his hand axes in his hand, twirling his fingers, and he's going to return the favour by throwing hand axes straight back at them.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a 2, so that's terrible.
Yeah, it bounces off a shield.
I can't math. Chances are it's going to miss.
What's your plus to hit?
15 it will be.
15. Yeah, that is going to miss. Another shield. It dunks into the shield this time rather than bouncing off, but he lifts it up. Okay, and then the swordsman will rush forward towards you. But they won't be able to get to you. So they'll rush, they'll dash into melee with you guys. There's 2 of them, so they'll both rush towards Helgir, since she's the one who's been loosing terror. And they're afraid of the magic using. Okay, then
I haven't been using magic yet.
No, but they see you doing arrows. They don't. They saw the other guy. They saw Draugr cast a terrifying spell and fell their leader in one turn, so they're afraid of him. Okay, Valdemar, you can go now, and then.
Yeah, I missed the description. I don't have any idea what's happening.
No worries. So there was a big guy with like fiery hair who was commanding people to put bodies onto a pyre. Then he commanded them to get in the shield wall, and they were doing that, but then Draugr unleashed a guiding bolt, burnt him alive, and he fell in a single hit. And then, there's 4 axemen who have run forward and thrown axes, and then there's 2 swordsmen who are now in melee with Helgir.
Okay.
Help.
And Gunnulf?
Gunnulf threw an axe.
I'm going to run up and try and get in behind one of the foes hacking away at the Clericess of Freya.
Yeah.
I'm going to heft Thorst and cut this guy in half for a 17 and a crit.
Yep. That's a hit and a crit. Oh, man.
I'm going to re-roll that 2 for show. 25 plus 8, 43.
Yeah. You brutalize him.
I'll just cut him in half, as I say.
Yeah, you absolutely do. You run up behind him and just right through, and he's just totally done for. Okay, Draugr.
Just before I finish my turn, how badly wounded is Helgir?
Not bad at all. They didn't hit her yet.
I
They
got
had
hit one.
dash.
Okay,
They dashed to
Then
me.
Okay, sweet. I'll end my turn there then. Actually, I'll move next to her, so it's hard for them to flank us both.
So as the thrown axe flies towards me, and I kind of twist, and it still finds purchase digging into my shoulder, but I managed to keep to the saddle. As I slide down from the horse, I put my hand across the wound and trace blood tears down my cheeks as I grab my war axe and shield and close in on the swordsman.
Nice.
Here. Let's see. So that would be 19 to hit.
Yeah, that's a hit.
So yeah, as I grab my weapons and begin to charge, a wild, almost mad look in my eyes wide as I yell out a battle cry in Old Jotun and swing true with the 4-axe. Let's see, let's do 8. So 9 points of damage.
Okay, nice. Einar makes a death save. And he crits it. He gets a hit point and begins to rise. Looking like on fire. As smoke comes from his blackened skin. And he looks in your direction and kind of thinks about his options. But that's all that he can do. Valdemar.
I'm going to lay into the next guy adjacent to me.
Yeah.
Trying to defend Helge. Ooh, a 15 and a miss.
Okay, no, 2 misses. Brings a shield up, blocks the first, and then dodges the second. Helgier.
Alright, Helgier is going to use a bonus action to call upon the god's aid, cast Sacred Flame on that guy. So you see behind her back, she makes like a hand signal and then goes to touch him. And he has to make a dex save.
Okay. He fails.
Yeah, so she reaches out and like grabs onto his the front of his chain shirt, and he'll feel it heating up, and then it just like burns and stretches out, setting him aflame, and he takes 16 damage.
Ooh.
That's
wow.
10 radiant and 6 fire.
Okay.
Or 10 radiant and 6 whatever hexes.
Okay. Yeah. He screams and tries to pull away from you. The axemen now rush forward in formation.
I keep my word.
Yeah, they thunder forward, all with shields in front, and they get to the swordsman and kind of on either side of him, forming a shield wall around him. So 2 of them are going to swing towards you, Helgir, and the other 2 towards Valdemar. Okay, so this guy, Bones is acting up. Okay, first attack against Helgir. It's going to miss, I think. Yeah, for 11. Second attack. That's going to crit.
Oh, Christ. Alright, D8.
It's going to be 9 damage.
Okay.
Hit me up with those dank D20s.
D20?
Please.
Okay. 17.
Okay, it's just a minor scar. You will live to see another day. He thunks his axe into you, into the shoulder maybe, for not as painful as it looked. It looked to be a much more severe blow. Right, the other 2 on Valdemar. First one, it's a crit. Second one, it's a 19 plus 5. Jesus,
Oh, man.
These guys.
They're out for you.
Uh, 19 damage, Valdemar.
Holy fuck.
Valdemar's getting seriously wrecked every time.
Do I roll a danky?
Yeah, please.
I got a 7. I feel like that's real bad.
It's an internal injury. So one of the thunks his axe into your stomach, and when he pulls it out, like a tiny bit of gut comes with it. You need to make a con save before you act, otherwise you lose your action.
My favorite.
Yeah. Yeah,
Better than dying.
Thunks his axe into you and pulls it out. So those 2 guys, yeah, and then they get back into the shield wall, looking furious. These guys all have kind of very ruddy, sort of almost tanned skin and red hair. Okay, then Gunnulf.
Kind of as this has been going on, Gunnulf has been running the blade of his axe down his face, just to draw blood. to get the fire rising. He's going to rage and run in at basically the shield wall that's formed up here. I don't know which side would be the closest to me.
I have you like on their left, so on the right of the group.
And that is where Valdemir is?
I have it like you, and then Helgir, then Valdemar, and then Dragon.
Right. Okay, he's going to rage from running, and let's see what he can do. I'm going to reset bones first, because that always does a... Oh, you fuck.
Let's see if your weapon explodes. No, okay.
But he does have another attack.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh my god, Jack.
Dude,
Yeah, I guess the shield wall is just
no matter what you
impenetrable.
roll on.
So you come up like foaming at the mouth, and you're just like swinging madly at them, but they just like bring their shields up expertly and block. The swordsman is going to try and stab out at Helgir. See if you can hit. Oh shit, that's way too many dice. What the fuck? Okay, yeah, it's an 18 or 19. 18 plus 5, so that'll hit, I think. For 5 points of damage, Helgir. Sword just dunks into you for a second. Grazing cut.
Yeah, I have the sentinel feat. Does that mean I can use my reaction just to...
Can indeed.
We know what way this is going. It'll be a free this time.
Oh,
Hey.
nice. Yeah, that'll hit.
Seven damage though.
Okay, that's going to actually finish him. Yeah. So you manage to get this like he glances off the top of his shield with your axe, but it bounces up under his jaw and just catches him, and he falls down. Dead. Okay, swordsman is gone. Hey, Gregor.
So do I see that the leader is now back up on his feet?
Yeah, he's risen. He's badly burnt, but he's gotten back up.
And how many is left of the shield wall?
4 axemen. The 2 swordsmen are dead.
Is there an opening in the shield wall now that one of them's down?
Yeah, he was in the middle. So there's 2 and 2, and the middle there's a gap.
Okay, so yeah, I'll try to close in that opening and attack. I'll probably be easier the one on the left with my war axe. 14. 18 to hit.
Sir.
Oh, sorry, 9 damage.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Into a shoulder. And then Einar, he looks around. He's concerned about possibly going to Muspelheim permanently, and he's not too keen on that prospect. So he turns and he shouts to the others, "Kill them!" and then starts to leave. And that allows them to use their reaction to attack. So the 2 axemen who are on Helgir. Oh fucking hell! 8's gonna miss, but it's another crit.
Son of a bitch. All right.
I mean, it's all on bones, I swear. Okay, it's gonna be 12 damage, and I need a d20 roll.
Okay. That's an 18.
18. That's another minor scar. You're collecting scars real quick here.
Another one.
Yep.
Yeah. Not the face.
Bless you. Okay, so then the other 2 on the other side are going to try and swing for Valdemar. Working in unison, both of them miss. Valdemar is too quick with his blade.
The one who misses me first, I'm going to riposte on him. Use my second superiority dice.
Yep.
18 to hit.
Yep.
We'll reroll that one. 11 piercing damage for missing me.
Yeah, that's going to be the guy who Draugr had hit previously. You just like stab your sword through when he falls down. Very much dead. Okay. Helgeir?
All right. How many of them are around me?
Oh, sorry, Valdemar. Sorry, my mistake.
And the
In
one
that
that got
case,
Hex just got down, so I get some temp health.
the other one who's adjacent to me, Lloyd, I'm going to cut at him.
Okay.
2 hits,
Yeah.
21 and a fire. I'm going to reroll that one. 12 plus 9, 21 plus 8, 29 slashing.
Yeah, so another brutal blow of forced splat. Another guy is ended. The other two look a bit nervous, but yeah, we'll see.
I'm going to ignore them and run 30 feet towards the guy who's
Okay.
the cow is fleeing.
Yeah. Okay. Helgeir, now it's your turn.
All right. So Valdemar went after the guy who was running.
Yeah.
And there's still 2 guys on me.
There's 2 guys in front of you, yeah.
Are they like engaged with me, or are they?
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
engaged with you and Gunnulf.
Okay. I am gonna use Sacred Flame on the guy again, if he's still alive.
Mm-hmm. Barely.
Yeah, I'll go for him. So he has to make a dex save.
Oh, yeah. That's bad. Yeah, he fails.
Yeah, so she's like she already has this guy by the scruff of the neck, and then she just grabs him with her other hand, and you just see like the flames crawling up onto his face. And if she kills him, it's gonna do something real cool. 13 damage.
Yeah, that ends him.
Yeah, so she like grabs him, and you just see it, like it flares up, and his hair sets on fire, and he just pushes him, and he falls back.
Yeah,
burning
he
and screaming.
screams. And eventually the smoke of the flames stops him screaming. The guy next to him looks horrified. And so on his turn, he's going to try and run. So you and Gunnulf will get an opportunity attack.
Alright. I don't have any weapon on me,
Okay.
so I'll just smack at him. Alright.
21.
My hit.
That's a hit, Gunnulf.
I don't know why I'm sitting here waiting for you to...
19.
19 with a punch.
Yeah, with a
Nice.
punch.
Okay, yeah,
She's
roll,
pissed.
roll some damage.
Yeah, she kicks him in the pants as he runs off, and does 4 damage, because it only does 1 plus dex, right? Or strength,
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah. And what about you, Gunnulf?
that was 11.
11. Okay, 4. Okay, yeah, he's still alive, barely kicked in the crotch and sliced with an axe. He starts to limp away as fast as he can. Draugr.
So are they all on the run at the moment?
Yep, they're all on the run. One of them is quite far away now. He had moved like 60 on his turn. And Valdemar's after him, so he's like 100 feet away from you. The other guy is 60 away.
I will dash after Yara.
Okay. Einar sees you coming after him, Valdemar, and kind of grins. He doesn't seem to be armed, but then he like holds out his hand and a flaming sword will appear. and he'll then rush towards you and attack. Somewhat of a feint, perhaps.
Uh-huh.
Okay. So he'll make 25 to hit.
It's
Okay, can you make a strength save?
I can
Yeah.
well above 20.
You're fine. It's going to be 10 points of damage as the flaming blade slices into you once, and then
bloodied.
he swings back around. For 16 this time, which I think will miss, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, this guy's really big, and you can feel heat coming off of him. He's holding this bizarre, like, flaming sword. He just, like,
Oh, I
snarls.
use my reaction to hit him, actually, if he misses me.
Okay.
I've acted since I used my last one, so I've got my reaction back. Ooh, yeah, 24 to hit.
Oh, yeah.
So we're trading blows. Oh, yes, that's good. 16 slashing.
Yeah, fells him. He only had the one, having gotten back up. Like some sort of a natural resilience, but now you just, like, finish him, and he falls to the ground. It's your turn.
I'm going to like heft myself up once more and scan around to see if there's any foes within 30, 60 feet of me.
No, the other guy had run a different direction, back towards the town, so you can't see him.
Uh-huh.
Looks
I can see
like,
my companions.
yeah, you can see them. You see Drago running towards you. Yeah.
I'll shout out to the Caracas. Where are the rest of them?
Right here, she shouts, and then
Yeah, it's mundane for you guys to kill
she,
this guy.
on her turn, she was gonna shoot him in the leg so she could try to interrogate him. But
Yep, that's no problem.
Okay.
You can just do that.
I'll run after him. I'll run after him and throw a hand axe at his leg as well.
Yeah, you don't even need to roll.
Okay, sweet. We'll hog tie this guy and
Yeah,
question him.
Yeah, you
Sorry,
tie
She
him
just
up.
like kicks him over and anyone speak, asshole, she says.
Says, "Fuck you, witch."
She just stares into his eyes and says, "In your dreams," and then lets lets Draugr in if he wants to speak to him, since she knows that he spent time among the Jotun.
Where is this guy wounded at? The leg?
Yeah, the leg. You would have hit him with an arrow and an axe in the leg.
And is he down on the ground at the moment?
Yeah, you've tied him up.
Okay, so I'm going to step down on his leg, kind of bend my knee and rest my elbow on it as I look down into his eyes. And in old Jotun, I'll say, "Speak with respect or I will take your tongue."
You look surprised that you can speak it. And he says, "We've taken people from this village, and they're going into the Great Pyre. There's nothing you can do about it."
Where is this great pyre?
Up your hole.
I'll lean heavier down on his leg and twist my booted foot back and forth.
Yeah, you're gonna kill me anyway. Would I tell you anything?
I'm going to pull out my dagger, and if he's wearing a belt or just the waist of his pants, I'm going to slice it open and tug him down to his knees. And I'll place the cold steel of my dagger against his genitals.
He looks a little bit less brave now, all of a sudden.
There is more than one way to die.
We've taken them into the north. You'll never find them. Ingvar has them.
I will look up to the others and say in the common tongue, He says that they have taken him north to a great pyre where they will be burned.
Give me a history check, Dennis.
$19.
Ingvar's a giant.
And so a name that I recognize.
Yeah, you'd remember him.
So he's one of the ones that was master over me then?
Yeah.
So as that registers, my eyes widen slightly as I turn back down to the prisoner, with the free hand grabbing a fistful of his shirt as I lean down, tugging him up. What name did you say?
Ingvar.
I take my dagger and stab it up through his chin.
And he just chokes until he dies.
There is no doubt, I'll say as I straighten, the boy spoke the truth. Ingvar, the Jotun, that is where they are taking the prisoners, the people of this village.
Surely if there's many, we can track them. We have horses, and they are slowed by prisoners. We should go with haste, unless any of you are too badly wounded.
Yeah, Helga is pretty wounded, but she would want to go immediately.
Yeah, Valdemar's bloodied, but he's trying to act tough.
Give me an investigation with advantage, you guys. Valdemar, because you're looking for your daughter, who is like the wife of the Carl here.
Whoa, did I miss that?
Well, she would have been the wife of the Carl here, and the Carl would have been one of Jarl Stribbjorn's sons. It was like an alliance that you had made some time ago, but now it seems like this is bad for you in many ways.
And what's my daughter's name?
It's up to you.
I'll name her Ayla, after the Jarless from the south.
Nice.
So I have a wife?
A wife, yeah, and kids.
Kids. He's been busy.
He has.
I got 14.
Okay, yeah. Looking through the bodies, you don't see.
20.
Nice, yeah. You look. You can't find Ayla anywhere. Her body amongst the bodies.
Her husband.
No, you don't find him either. I'm just checking. What the hell is his name?
Cool.
Oh yeah, Rugga. Rugga is the son of Stribbjorn. He's not here either.
Okay.
Amongst the bodies. Yeah, looking around, you can see the footsteps of a giant. Now that you're actually looking for tracks and stuff, you can see like horse tracks and stuff like that, but you can also just like see every like 15 feet just this enormous foot.
Oh.
We'll make camp,
Actually,
rest an hour, then head on at pace. What say you? Sorry, Dennis.
Sorry, is you guys are, checking things out. That mad look remains in Drugar's eyes as he leans down and he pulls the dagger free. And he leans down and whispers something into the corpse's ear. And basically, I'm going to cast Revivify to bring him back.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
As I'm whispering and his life returns, still speaking in Old Jotun, I say, I can kill you 1,000 times and bring you back. You will not have the honor of death unless you take me to the pyre.
He's just like blubbering at the pain from like his sudden reemergence and like having his genitals like cut and his like throat slit, and he's just like starts blubbering. He's just, I don't know where it is.
Then where were you to go after you collected these bodies?
Only Ingvar knows. We follow him.
So you had no idea where you were to go after here?
North. I know north. I know that we would go north for as long as we could.
And no, there are no other groups like yours that are raiding?
Maybe, I don't know. I'm not even from here. I'm from a clan up north. Ingvar came. We serve him.
I'll give a growl in frustration, leaving him in his condition tied up as I stalk away, muttering to myself.
Yeah, I'll be setting to make a camp to rest for an hour.
Yep.
Water and feed the horses, tend to the wounds of the wounded horse. Anything to distract me from the agony of my internal injury. Oh yeah, sweet fuck.
Okay, so you guys want to go?
Work on that.
You guys want to go straight up, or like straight up north? Follow these guys.
After taking a rest, for sure.
Okay.
It would be obvious from his body language and his demeanour that his daughter and son are taken, so nothing will stop them going north.
Okay. So you guys can, I mean, rest as long as you like. It's up to you.
Until the clericess is ready to travel.
How does healing work in this?
That's a good question. I guess we'll do like short rest.
Just
as many
regular
hit
short
dice.
rest?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, she'd be ready after an hour.
Same.
Going up, roll some hit die.
Yeah, after an hour I'd be quite convalesced. Can I ask Alaric to give me a medicine check on my internal injury? I have to heal 10 times from that, hey Lloyd?
Yeah.
Just like see if it can be tended.
It doesn't take long for him to return once you speak with him about the injury. He will lay his hand over the wound, his eyes becoming glassy as he mutters in that strange tongue of his. And
So what I'm going to do for these like injuries, rather than just cancel them with healing magic, which makes it kind of pointless, I'm going to say it halves the severity. So rather than having to make 10 saves, you can make 5.
Okay.
Because otherwise, it just renders.
Still a medicine check,
Yeah.
but not as many. Okay. Yep,
Yeah.
Sweet.
So it's basically you get half as many, or half of the successes already. You know, application of healing magic.
Yeah. It would be smart to rest for 5 days, but then they'd be burnt, so we just have to go, and I'll just have to be less potent. He wouldn't want to wait more than an hour. Thinking like the time would give him images of what's happening to his daughter and son as prisoners of a giant.
Yeah, and beyond just like the fact that it's your daughter, it's also like the son of Jarl Stribbjorn, who's always been a thorn in your side. and he's in your lands, and if he was to get in any sort of trouble, that's trouble.
We will ride, and as long as I'm alive, you shall not fall.
Okay.
Could be heartened by that and begin to break camp after an hour's gone by.
All right. So let's do a skill encounter to get up north. Let's say it's gonna be quite difficult. Like 4 before 2. So whatever skills you think are
I laugh
appropriate.
in the face of difficulty. Nick always has us do like 6 before 2 and
Right.
shit.
Yeah. No, 6 before 2 is brutal, and I would never do that to a player.
You're weak. Can we just do encounter dice instead, please? For my skill encounter, I'm going to do athletics check or a con save to push through my grueling wound, whatever you'd prefer, Lloyd.
Let's do con save.
Ooh, an unholy number amongst us Vikings. 13 plus, I think it's 5.
Yeah, you should be okay.
18
Yeah.
or so.
Okay, yeah. The
Yeah,
pain is
5.
significant, but you push through. But it's like jarring as you ride, you know. Every time the horse, like, you feel like this sticking pain in your side, but you push through. You're made of sterner stuff.
Here we'll go for stealth, basically trying to avoid open fields where obviously higher viewpoints will be able to see us from much larger distances.
Right.
Alright. So, okay. 14 plus 6. 20.
Okay. Yep, no problem. You stick to the hidden ways, and you don't seem to get seen. You don't even see many people around, to be honest. You're now kind of coming into the territory that's Jarl Stribjorn's, and eventually Jarl Vidar's, and it's a desolate sort of country. Very few people appear. Okay, 2 successes.
Gunolf was going to go for survival, just generally checking the land round about us,
Okay.
just to see. 15.
Yep, that's a success. Yep. You're well versed in traveling through the land. Okay, so Dennis, just pick a skill that you think is appropriate for like making this journey, and then make a skill check.
Yeah, I'm going to use perception.
Nice.
Keep a lookout for signs of the group that has traveled before us. 10. So 16.
Okay. Yeah, you guys absolutely nail it. Quiet as a mouse, you stalk through the countryside and you follow these huge giant tracks. It's a couple of days as you wander up north, and the weather gets worse and worse. But eventually you'll come to a camp of people. In the night, you'll approach them. You'll see the fires bright, making no attempt at being hidden, this camp. Judging by the amount of fires and stuff, you gotta reckon there's at least like 30 people here. You can see a couple of people like walking around stoking fires and stuff, and there's even singing and stuff going on.
Any of you adept at stealthing in?
Helgier would be.
I'm
Also
also
has
pretty stealthy.
some sorcery that may help.
We need to find out where the prisoners are and how many guards they have. Sounds like there's more than a score of men yonder.
What is the material component for this? Invisibility. Hold up. Wait a minute. I never know what an eyelash encased in gum Arabic is, but she would say, I can exert my will and blend into the shadows if you wish, but it will take much out of me. I won't be able to find the hostages and survey the scene.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah, she nods, and how would she do this? She like goes behind a rock, and you just hear like a small whisper, and like if you check behind the rock, she's no longer there, and she just casts invisibility.
Nice.
Rad. That's awesome.
And she's just gonna like skulk through the camp, keeping to the shadows, staying away from well-traveled areas so nobody bumps into her or anything. And
Okay.
she's gonna be looking for like the hostages and trying to get a decent idea of how many people they have.
Okay.
And whether they're like drinking or like anything like that.
Sure. So you're invisible. They have no idea that you're there. You're walking around. You can see there's 5 separate campfires with like 5 men sitting around each, kind of drinking, carousing, like telling stories and stuff. They all have a similar look to the guys you had seen previously, like bizarrely tan skin, and they all have red hair. And then at the back, there's this big iron wagon, really strange, with like iron bars or whatever holding inside, and there's a couple of people inside there. You recognize Valdemar's daughter in there, as well as Ruga, who are citizens of Felheim. There's also other people, but you don't recognize who they are.
She doesn't see like her daughters or anything.
She does not.
Alright. So they're split into different carts or just one cart?
One cart. There's probably 10 people in there packed in.
Okay. Is the cart like is it like getting pulled by anything?
Yeah, I mean, there's a thing at the front, like a yoke at the front where you would put horses, but the horses aren't attached to it. They are like off to the side of the camp.
Okay. So how about these men? Are they like celebrating, or are they like Spartan and like just like eating their rations and getting ready for bed and are pretty ready?
They seem really relaxed. There's a ton of them, so they feel like out here nothing's going to mess with them. So they seem pretty relaxed. Like a lot of them are drinking and stuff, and there's singing and whatnot going on, boasting contests between some of the different campfires.
Okay. Are there like kegs or anything?
Yeah, there's tons of supplies and stuff with them. Food, kegs of meat and stuff like that.
Okay. Do I have anything that could take advantage of that? I mean, I can make their beer taste like piss, but prestidigitation. But other than that, I can't really.
That's low.
I don't have poison on me or anything. Yeah, turns into Budweiser.
Give me a perception check.
All right. Okay. 16.
Nice. So yeah, beyond the cart, a little bit, probably like 60 feet out in the darkness, you thought it was a hill, is a man sleeping. The man is about 40 foot long. And
Oh
he's just
shit!
lying there, just like.
Oh.
You've never seen anything like this before. He's just the most enormous thing you've ever seen. Stories of Jotuns make them about 25 to 30 feet tall. This one is enormous. He's got this fiery red hair and this big long red beard, and just like a skirt, and that's all he's wearing. You can see the snow has melted all around him, and yeah, he's just lying there like fast asleep.
Okay. Shit. I walk over and coup de grace, right?
Right, sure, yeah.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Like, this is like just it'd be like you in reality, like seeing Santa Claus or something. It's just like you never expect to see something like this to be real. Like, you obviously believe in the stories more than most, but it's just like staggering to see the. You just think nothing alive could be this big.
Yeah, her eyes just like shoot up, not really expecting to actually see something that large. She thought maybe it was like an especially big man or something like that, but things taller than 3 houses combined. Could she use major image to? Okay, so first, this is like my plan. I'm gonna kind of like lay it out the way that I'm thinking of it, and you can tell me how successful that could possibly be. She wants to go over and try to lead the horses to the wagon, then cast major image to make like a tent, like a camp tent over the wagon, and like guide the wagon when people are walking. Try to get it away.
You gotta think people would notice a huge tent moving through the camp.
All right. Well, then, thinking that she wouldn't be able to do anything by herself, she would return and say, "The tales of the." She would say, "The tales of the Jotun are true. And they have your daughter and the Carl in a cart in the middle of the camp. There isn't much I can do to get them out."
Can you make all of us invisible, or to walk as shadows?
I think greater invisibility is too high a level for me. But let me check. I had invisibility down. I don't know if greater invisibility is 3rd level. I don't think it is. Yeah, it isn't.
If you wanted to,
So no,
you could allow the spirits to help you, but that's a dangerous path. That's Seder magic and can be quite dangerous. You'd have to make pacts and stuff with spirits, but they might be able to help you.
I've no problem
no.
making pacts.
No, she would
I would say,
feel
what
like
spirits can the gods help us?
These aren't gods.
you misunderstand. Spirits are darker, and some say older than the gods. Do not want to trifle with their power.
Fair enough.
It will only leave you empty, an empty husk. Let's see. What else do I have in my tool belt?
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
That spirit talk, how does that work? What do I need to do to use that?
So it's like I'm gonna allow because I think it fits the setting. There's like a Seder magic is about allowing spirits to like inhabit your body, um, and then they act through you, right? So you could potentially make a pact with some sort of spirit, and it would like grant you brief power, but like at a cost, you know?
I was speaking specifically to the ability that I have for my background of being dead. It gives me spirit talk. I was wondering how does that work? How do I go about contacting the spirits?
It would probably be a ritual, right? You would like sit down and like
Okay.
draw shapes and stuff into the ground, light some candles and stuff like that. It would be like a whole ordeal.
So I will start preparing that. Trace, find a suitable place to trace out the patterns in the ground, and break out the implements that I need. Probably like some kind of incense or herb. Facilitate getting into the right state of mind to make the contact.
Mm-hmm.
And Helgir is going to think back on her studies on ill omens mentioned in the old sagas that the Jotuns would take heed of. That Jotun would take heed of.
Good idea.
Nice
Good
idea.
inspiration. Sure, give me a Arcana or a History, whichever is better.
Arcana.
If it's history, I can
Ain't got
aid you.
shit in history. How many did I do? Oh shit, that's a crit.
Nice. Awesome. Okay. Nice. That's perfect. Okay, so you think about the omens that Jotun would find, particularly Fire Jotun would find troublesome or worrying. And you think it's signs of the gods, right? Because the Aesir came and defeated the Jotun. So
Oh, perfect.
yeah, so like things like
Perfect.
ravens or
All right.
wolves,
Yeah.
things of that nature would freak them out big time.
So as soon as she sees Draugr preparing a ritual, she thinks back, and then like a light bulb goes inside her head, and she also prepares a ritual to summon her crow, her raven,
Nice.
with Find Familiar.
Sweet. Okay, Draugr, you enter a sort of trance-like state, high off your nut on mushrooms that you've taken and bizarre drafts that you've brewed. And like when you open your eyes, you can see like overlaid on top of the world, like the world of spirits. Some of them like colossal, just like flying through the sky. Some of them tiny, like the sprites moving around. And one of them is like just this almost man-shaped one that's walking by, kind of looks in your direction and sees you look at it and looks kind of confused. And it like turns its head like 180 degrees around. What's this? Mortal?
I mimic its head's movements to the degree that I can as I rise to my feet. I do not approach it yet. I just mimic its movements.
Ah, a mirror? And it's like really, it's having a lot of fun with like raising its hand and then you do, and it puts it back down and then you do as well. It like finds that very, chuckles a lot at that. And yeah, mortal. A pact. Is that what you seek? Is that why you're here?
Yes, I finally speak.
You smell dead. What pact do you wish?
I am facing a great enemy, one from the ancient times, one of the giants, the Jotuns, the masters of old.
It kind of shrinks back a little bit at that. No, we don't like those. No. I would help you. We do not like the Jotun.
They have taken those that have meaning to us, and we will have them back.
How can I assist you in this, mortal?
I give him a brief background of what has occurred, the people that were taken, and what was found at the camp with the sleeping Jotun. We need some way to get to our people undetected, or some advantage to face this thing.
Walk unseen. Perhaps go to Svartalfheim. Yes, it can be arranged. It can be arranged. I do like to confuddle and befound the Jotun whenever I can.
Feeling a similar sentiment, I give a soft chuckle at the idea of tricking one of the old masters.
Yes, I could allow you to walk perhaps unseen in the lands, but it requires a price, of course. All things require a price.
And what would you ask in return for your help?
A trifling thing, most likely. Something unimportant to you, something hardly vital. A name, your full name, your true name.
I smile at that, knowing that such things aren't merely trifling things.
I simply want to know you better, mortal.
So you do not want my second name from when I return to this place?
No.
My first name before I came to be to this place.
I want your true name.
As you say, I suppose, for your help against this giant to retrieve those of importance. This is a trifling price for me to pay. I've given much, much more in the name of these masters. So in exchange for my name, you will aid us to reach our people.
I will allow you to walk unseen, walk unheard. You will be in Svartalfheim, an echo of Midgard, but you will affect Midgard as if you were there.
And you will allow us to travel once again through with those that we come to rescue?
Aye, I will. I think it will make this Jotun extremely angry, and that fills me with joy.
Despite the seriousness of the situation, Dragar gives that soft, mad chuckle again. Very well. I'm Eric Lundgren. That is my first name.
Very good. Well, Eric Lundgren, I'll see you again. And then your eyes roll forward again, and you're back in Midgard. And you just have this knowledge of a word that you would speak, and it will become true.
It takes a moment for the warm breath of air to chase away the chills of my body as I shakily push to my feet. It is done.
What have you done,
Brilliant.
Dragir?
Good.
We will travel a way that will be unseen to reach our people and to bring them out once again.
If we take our prisoners back, these cultists, this fire giant, will not leave empty-handed. They'll come back. Not only do we have to rescue our people, but we must slay the Jotun too.
Yes, but it would be better to get the people out first so they cannot be used against us or slain if we should fall.
You've done well, Dragir. Lead on.
I will need a little time to be ready. And then
We will watch vigil for you.
very well. So basically, I'm going to take a little bit of time to see if I can gather up some of the components that I've been using for these spells, so I'm able to cast them, like a particular piece of dried wood that I need for the guiding bolt and stuff like that. Just debris scavenging around in the area.
Yeah. Yeah, you find what you need.
How shall we proceed?
Almost too easy, like the spirit might have helped there too.
Once we are unseen. I was invisible. There was nothing I could do to get that cart out of the camp.
We will be traveling away, that we will be in the camp, but we will not be ourselves and those that are with us.
But what of the people in the cart?
They will be with us. Perhaps it is best if I show you. Are we ready?
Truly hope you do not come to regret this.
I have many regrets.
Yes,
This will be minor among them. So once everyone is gathered, I'll take a slow, deep breath and then speak the word.
Yeah, there's like a disconnect as you feel yourself like becoming light, and you look down and you see no body. You can see like the paths before you, like into the camp, laid out almost like a path glows, the path of least resistance, the path of where the least people are looking. Just take a quick break because I really need to pee.
Sounds good, me too.
So we're walking through Svartalheim to do all this, but we can manipulate the mortal world while we're there. We're going to pull the people with us through Svartalhelm back into Midgard, see them on their way, then go back and kill these people? Or should we flee with them to safety back to Valderheim and then come back tracking these guys?
If we take the prisoners and flee, they're gonna chase. They're gonna know that something.
And they've got horses, and then we're slowed down by prisoners.
True, but however, if we make good time, it gives us a chance to choose the battleground, as it were.
We could also steal their horses while we're in Svartalheim. Then it could just be the giant that chases us. Which is still, we're fucked. We're just less fucked. But we could, like, I don't know, we could attempt to maim the giant. We could, like, just all focus on one of its legs. We don't have to kill it, we have to defeat it.
Maybe the best course of action might be to split up and have
people lure it away in the hope that 3 can survive and one will sacrifice.
something like that. Just so that the prisoners can get out without being molested.
Yep. The way I figure it, if us fall, Valderheim is doomed anyway.
Yep.
So there's a little bit of self-preservation that has to come into our tactics. I think we don't have the luxury of being just like stringless warriors. We can just choose to go out gloriously. We've got I have big responsibilities. So I'd want to like factor in us survival, like chances of our survival, as well as getting the prisoners back. But I do like the idea that you said. Sorry, Dan.
Go ahead.
No, I was just going to say I do like your plan checks maybe as like a contingency or something. Like if shit goes to the fan, then yeah, we enact plan split up. Each four of us try and attract the giant away so that the rest can safeguard the prisoners.
My thought was to have the if the giant wakes up, to have the raven like go for its eyes and distract it.
I really want to try and kill it in its sleep. I know that's dishonorable, but I don't think there's any other possibility.
I feel like even if we attacked it in its sleep, we wouldn't kill it.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think we'd go a ways. And as far as my character's concerned, this is the biggest threat he's ever come up against, but he's never been so well equipped as far as magic items, a cleric S from the gods, like someone who's been brought back from the dead. He sees that as a portent and like sees the hand of the gods in that. And yeah, like I think if we take the prisoners back, best case scenario, that's even if this sprite doesn't completely fist us, we get out and we've got to flee with a bunch of hungry people who slow us down. The Jotun will catch up and decimate.
Yeah, I mean, your idea, we could like specifically try to hamstring it, as in necessarily killing it.
If we have to fight it, all we've got to do is cut off one of its legs. We don't have to kill it, we have to defeat it. I don't want to leave it behind to chase us. But if it does happen, then I say we do checks as planned.
The only problem with that, I see with that, is when you're focusing on the big guy, it's going to bring attention.
Yup, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Do we know how long we're going to be invisible?
As long as you need. The spirit got the name, which is like a huge deal to the spirit, so it's not going to welch on its deal.
All right.
I want to get a few ideas.
We're going to be invisible the entire way back, right?
I just love every time that you're in my game, Dan, you just sit around going, ah. That's great.
I just keep thinking of things. I think I overthink things.
It's great though, yeah.
No,
I live for it.
Yeah, I love it too. It's good when there's like we've all got a role play out how we're going to do this plan.
Yeah.
We had a few ideas while you were gone, Dennis. Bounce off you.
Sure.
Chex had an idea for like if the Jotun pursues us to save prisoners, we could send them off and then us four split up and try and attract it. So kind of like sacrifice one of us so the others can get away. We've got the idea of where we're in Svartalheim stealing their horses too, to try and make good our escape with that advantage. And then we're also tossing up another idea of trying to rescue the prisoners and then staying once they're out to try and kill the Jotun in its sleep.
That could work. Because if we can begin the action while we're still in this other place, but in that place, that could give us advantage, possibly.
Yeah, 4 like crits while it's sleeping could be a good start into the impossible.
Yeah, like looking at the scale of this thing, you just like know there's no possible way that you could defeat it in battle. Like if you were to fight it, it would 100%. Like it could kill everyone in the camp probably by the size of it, the sheer like mass of it.
Yeah, I've seen a giant half this size, or a half giant, like half this guy's size, kill about 40 men and rip a guy's arm off after doing so.
Yeah,
I would have firsthand seen what these things can do, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Do you think it's even possible that we could try and kill it if we started by attacking it in its sleep? Eric twice lived.
I'm guessing, based on my knowledge, that it would take more
I think
than...
you would think like the few times that people did fight in your time against the Jotun, they would do things like this, like try to huddle them and like harass them from far away, because if you're standing next to it, it'll just stand on you, or it'll just pick you up and break you. So if you were like to hobble or something, you think that's possible. But to actually kill one, I mean, they're notorious, like incredibly tough, and Yeah.
I say we all try and sneak up on it and cut off its leg just below the groin together, because if we hit it while it's sleeping, we'll all auto crit. So we'll have a good chance of cutting its leg off.
Yes, if we can hobble it, then if we should have to retreat, it would make it that much harder for it to catch us. Despite knowing that it's not very likely, I mean, well, I'll just roleplay it out.
I mean, if we roll enough crits, he'll have to roll like 4d8s.
I mean, the thing is, out of character, is that even if he knew that it wasn't likely, even if there was a small chance, Trigger would be all for it because of his hatred for these creatures.
Right. That makes sense.
But he
I'm
would
usually-
communicate that too, because he wouldn't want to falsely lead everybody in, like, hey, sure, no problem, you know.
Yeah.
So he'd want to communicate that, you know, it'd be very dangerous and there's a good chance that it would fail, but if there was the slightest chance of hope too, he would also say, you know, hey, there's a chance that we could do this, and if we're going to take him out, this is the time. This will be our only chance unless we have, you know, an army of men that we're willing to sacrifice.
No, those men are destined for a greater battle. We need them for it. I agree that we should go with hope. What I wouldn't be saying to the party is that I'm completely biased because of my daughter and son's capture,
Yeah.
and like that's prejudice to me. I'm latching onto that hope. Don't want to fail my kin.
Yeah, we all have our different motivations for. Sure, yeah, no
Could,
problem.
Could Helgir use her familiar as a distraction for the men while we
Certainly.
go to the cart and like shepherd them off, and then set up to try to hobble this giant or potentially kill it?
Mhm.
For all right. Do you want me to roll?
With your previous Arcana roll, you would know that a snake is a symbol of the Jotun, because Nidhogg is like the serpent at the bottom of the Yggdrasil that chews at the roots, and that's like one of the big one of the big creatures that they worship. So you would think that if a raven was eating a snake, if you made an image of that or something, they would like lose their shit. That would be like such a bad omen.
Oh
You roll
yeah, I
super
could
high
do
on your
that.
Arcana.
I've got minor illusion. So she would use minor illusion to make a stick look like a snake, and then she would give it to the raven that she had summoned and have it fly off to a highly visible area in the camp.
Yeah.
And yeah.
So do you guys want to get in position first, I assume, before you do that?
Yeah, we wouldn't do that.
Yeah. So there's this like incredibly tense moment as you walk through the camp, like, I mean, quietly, but like people are just like looking through you occasionally as like one of them shouts an insult to another or something, and you're just like walking through the camp. And there's like 30 warriors all sitting around, most of them awake, but you just walk through and no one seems to notice anything at all. You get into position by the cart, and you see it's just a simple like iron bar that you would lift that would open it. Inaccessible from the inside. And yeah, the raven lands on like a rock in the middle of the camp and caws, "Ah!" And other people look, huh? And see a couple of whispers like, fucking raven. And then it like goes in and pecks the head off this snake, and like throws it up in the air and gulps it, and they all just start freaking the fuck out, like, oh. A bunch of them like grab weapons and stuff and start like, loads of them you see like kissing amulets around their necks and stuff, like this is such a bad omen, something is wrong.
Yeah, and it just like kind of like flies up and then drops a snake and then picks it up and then flies back up. It's like playing with its food basically until
Yeah.
they get aggressive and then they fly into somewhere inaccessible.
Yeah, a couple of them like get up and start to move towards it, like half afraid to hurt an omen, but half like hating it so much because it's giving them such a bad vibe. And it flies away, and some of them even go to follow it as it lands in a tree, like 100 feet away. So a couple of them go after it.
All right. Yeah, it's basically trying to hold their attention.
Yeah.
All right. So we're gonna.
How far away is that happening from where we're at?
So
I'm trying to do it the other side of the camp if I can.
Yeah, that's what I assume. So like you're at the cart. There's like a little sort of a copse of trees or whatever, like probably like 160 feet away from you are, and the ravens landed there, and they're like moving in a couple of men. I mean, like 10 or so of the men are moving in that direction,
Okay.
but everyone is looking in that direction, which is away from where you are.
Okay.
Yeah, my eyes on the prize. I start trying to funnel prisoners out quickly and quietly.
Yeah, there's a little bit of like confusion as like the gate of the thing opens, and they don't see anyone there. They're kind of confused, and they think it's like a trick or something. But then like the magic like exudes from you over them, and they can see you, but then don't see themselves anymore. And there's like even a gasp from one of the younger girls there. But I guess he would silence that pretty quickly, and with like hand gestures and stuff. Like, let's go, I assume.
Yep, just like hushed, gesturing them to quickly move, trying to
Yeah.
reassure them that the magic will work.
Yeah, they start to move, and they're all of them eyes on the Jotun, snoring about 60 feet away from you are, and they get out of the cart and they begin moving in the direction that you wish.
Should we send them to whatever the nasty guy, Iceheart? Is he closer?
Closer than Valderheim, certainly, yeah. But you think in the wilderness these people would? I mean, there's two men, one of which is Stribjorn's son. You think they'd be probably relatively helpless in the wilderness?
What about if we told them to go by where we've left our horses and gear, and to take our rations and foods and horses?
Yeah, they could do that.
Lloyd's just like, yeah, they could have your horses.
Yeah, well, I'm sorry, but I'm biased, and my daughter's safety is paramount.
Yeah, I mean there are horses in the camp as well, right? So like they have their own horses.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, can we go and take them through the Svartalheim as well?
You certainly could.
Yeah, we'll do that.
And the longer that you do this, and the longer that the illusion continues to work, and every time that you try something it works, the more that you think giving your name was a big mistake. When the power is this helpful and this all encompassing,
Forthcoming.
yeah.
Yeah.
But I think
We don't know that.
in your eyes, it's worth it probably, Gregor.
Well, yeah, I knew the magnitude of what I was doing, but it was for the payoff, because of acting against his old masters and a chance to get revenge. That felt right to him. That felt like that was his purpose for returning. So to him, it was. And if he should live through this tonight, then he'll deal with those consequences afterwards.
Right on. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So you can get these onto the horses. The horses move silently through the camp or around the outside of the camp to where your supplies are, and you can supply your people. Now, are you going to send them off, or are you going to tell them to wait until you come?
I'd say I'm going to tell them to head with our horses and the enemies and our provisions to Valderheim.
Okay. Yeah.
We'll follow them. If we do not return, I'm not sure if I have a son, but if not, then my eldest daughter. I'd give word for them to be supported.
Rugga, who is Stribjorn's son, he's decent compared to his father anyway. He like puts his hand on your shoulder and he just says, "Thank you, Valdemar."
Make me proud, son. See my daughter, your wife, safe. Honor the gods and your father Stribjorn and our oaths. Prepare for the end times.
I will. And with that,
I'm going to go against my better judgment here, and since you're giving me the tenuous hope that Stribjorn's son might not be so much of his father's ilk, I'm going to hand over Keening, the blessed blade from Jarl Ayla, and tell him hand it to my son or daughter. It's the weapon of my people. They will need it in the times to come. What we do here in Svartalheim is cursed work, and so I have only the need of forced.
Nice. You can have inspiration.
Awesome. I will definitely be using that.
In fact, you all should have inspiration, so go ahead and take some.
And I'll place over Keening into his hands, which is like, oh, I really don't like the idea of that. But if it can mold him, or not mold him, but if it can like bind him to me or Ruger or my daughter, sorry, Ayla, then I'll do it.
Nice. Okay, yeah. So you give over the ancestral spear, blessed by runes, and he gives you a confident look, leading the people away on horses, well supplied, down south back towards Valderheim, and they move at quite a pace. And I guess you would wait a little while before you go and go about your dirty deeds.
Yeah, we'll move up in silent and grim procession around this sleeping giant, whichever leg is most exposed to us. I'll point, and that's where we'll all hack away at once.
So he's like lying on his front right head, resting on his hand. One arm splayed out to the side, and one leg like raised up, like knee bent. The other one straight out behind him. You have a clear shot to a hamstring there.
I'll just look to my companion.
All right.
Yeah, you can feel like the heat coming off this guy, and you can see all.
May the gods be with us. Is he burning us, Lloyd? Like
no,
is it like
you can just feel like a warmth, as if you were like standing by a fire, even though you're out in the wilderness and it's like snowing.
Yeah.
So
yeah, same, Dennis. I've got it going in the background too. It's so good.
So basically, this guy's a giant hot water bottle.
He's an enormous hot water bottle. Yeah. So because he's asleep and you're invisible, you have advantage obviously in this attack. You'll get like a round of attacks off or whatever you want to do.
Before we attack, if I can, I want to do one of my spells. Basically, I'm going to whisper a chant to Odin and do basically it's the Crusader's Mantle, which adds a 1d4 radiant damage to everybody's attack if they hit.
Yes. Awesome. So yeah, you call down Odin's blessing, and you feel like invigorated, all of you. You like in your mind, you see runes dancing before you, and you settle on one that resonates with you, and you feel it like in your blade hand.
So are we just trying to hobble it and then run, or are we going to try to kill it?
I think that's the plan.
Can I hobble it?
Yeah. We're going to cut its leg off, reduce its speed to 0, and then fucking kill all of those cultists.
So fucking epic. This is not how I expected this to go at all.
Alright. Who wants to roll first?
I got a 24 and a 21 to hit on bones.
Those are 2 hits.
I'm going to do Menacing Strike on one of them.
Okay.
So hang on, so that's a d4 to each from Dennis, so I've got 2 d4s. The 8d6 for critting.
Mm-hmm.
The 8, yeah, that's right, for the greatsword, for the 2 attacks. And 2d8s for my Menacing, which I can't even put in because bones will only handle 10.
Yeah, you get to reroll all those 1s and 2s as well, don't you?
Not for the d8s though.
Yeah, it's all dice. I think, right?
I'll have to check. I thought it was only my weapon dice.
Oh. Yikes. When I play a paladin, I reroll everything.
38, so I can reroll 2. So minus 6, what's that? 44 plus 8. 52 slashing from me. And yeah, obviously I'm aiming to cut off his leg if there's any chance of lingering injury.
Okay.
I'll let out a silent scream of fury.
Yeah, you hack deeply into the leg. Alright, who's next?
I rolled a 20 to hit.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so, and also when I hit, I'm going to do my cantrip of the Booming Blade.
Oh, nice.
So basically, if it tries to move before my next turn, it's going to take another 2d8 of thunder damage. So let's see. First, 1d8. So 7, 8, and then 8, 11. So 11 points damage. I think that's right. Yeah, 11.
It's an auto crit, Dennis. Yes, so it's an automatic crit because he's asleep.
Oh, okay. So 11,
Just a hit.
20, 23.
Nice. Yeah, so. Does that make a thunderous noise? Is it like thunder waves?
It basically says it's once I hit, it basically becomes sheathed in a booming energy to the start of my next turn. If it moves before then, immediately takes my level 2d8 of thunder damage.
Oh, cool.
So I don't know if the boom comes when I hit it or if he moves and
Okay,
that releases
cool.
it maybe.
Yeah.
Alright. She takes out like a hatchet. So, if I get a crit on an auto crit, what does that mean?
Okay, that's fucking awesome. I'll let you do 3, like triple.
Nice.
The gods smile upon you.
Alright.
I feel like Eric with that sprite, like how it's just too good, like this, like all this damage we're doing, and Lloyd being like, nice, yep, that's good, yep. And that's just, I'm like, oh, that's making me more scared. The DM should be like, oh, really?
Yeah.
Fuck! But you're just like, oh, yep, nice, yep.
First one does 24.
Okay.
Second one does... Second one does 20.
Okay.
Yeah,
Oh
I can see
no.
Nice.
doing all this and he like grunts and rolls over on to his other side or something.
Yeah, crushing you all. Okay, girls.
Third one does 22.
Wow.
Okay, so there's a crit on mine as well.
Yes.
I
Nice.
don't know if the other one's
no.
the other one will hit, which is what 15.
No, that's actually
For
good.
one off. Yeah. So what am I doing for the yellow crit?
Yes. Basically, roll 3 damage dice instead of 2.
Roll 3 instead
And
of
remember
2.
the defaults from Dennis too.
And D4, yeah. So roll 2 D4s.
Yeah, I forgot that.
Oh, don't keep adding that. 36 and 7 radiant then.
Okay, and that is a total of 44. Okay, let me get a calculator out so I can add all this shit up.
Tell an
the
open spreadsheet.
naming of Invar is right, man. It's a fucking lot of damage.
Yeah, it's also 23 minutes into that music that you posted from YouTube. That's like, that's what the piece of music should be called. Soundtrack to the saga. And so they cut the giant's leg off while he slept. While Stribion rode away with the blade.
Okay,
It
so
just
you
sounds like
guys,
fairy tale.
you guys did 181 damage. Right, so you're in the shadows and you all like lift up your blades and just like splat, and you like hack halfway through the leg, and just like it just like begins to pour like molten blood, all over the place. and he just like lets out this like thunderous. Can you all make a deck save?
Boy, oh
I hope I
boy.
can.
Okay, thank God.
I'm going to use my inspiration and roll probably lower. Yeah, the gods. Oh, the gods are with me.
Oh, that's
they
poor.
17.
19 for Valdemar.
Oh,
Okay.
God. Oh.
20.
Okay.
Not a crit, unfortunately.
What about Helgir?
18.
18. Okay. And Gunnulf?
10.
Okay. So the molten blood like
Want more
sprays out.
inspiration, buddy?
Yeah. Do you have inspiration? You should use it. I would.
Yeah, why not? Oh, 20.
Yes. Okay. Nice. So
Nice.
the molten blood sprays out. You're all gonna take 6 fire damage as like the molten blood like covers your bodies. But then he like moves his other leg and like you like duck underneath, but it would have been like a kick that would send you like 100 feet into the air. And he just like rolls. He's like agony as like his leg has been pretty much severed. He goes to try and stand, but the leg, like the lower half of his leg, remains on the ground. And he's like trying to push himself up with his arms.
When he moves, he takes another 14 points of radiant damage.
Fuck. Okay. Nice. Yeah. So he like starts to move, and then there's like this thunderous, and he like collapses. Then the leg falls off entirely, and he falls back onto the ground. He just like looks around, like searching for a target. He can't even see you because he's on his front. And he's just like horrified. He just screams, just like this rumbling scream. So everyone make a wisdom save.
Okay, I have a better chance with this one. Let's see how I do. 6.
15.
Nice.
Cut off,
22.
man. Okay, nice.
I'm sorry, I can't help but laugh.
Oh. Oh.
Fucking Gunnel. 16, okay. And what about Valmar?
15.
15. Okay, Gunnulf, you are fucking terrified, and you are frozen to the spot with fear. You just stand there as he like begins to rise or tries to rise, unable to move, but the rest of you are able. So I guess we roll initiative so we can keep this orderly.
Run away!
I would recommend it. Nice rolls. Oh, not bad though.
I like at the beginning of this part here. The song that's got the really discordant horn sound that drones on. That just came on. I feel like I'm being heralded towards my doom.
Yeah, I feel my forefathers calling. Friends in Valhalla. I'm just going to try and hold on to my blade. Yeah. Oh, there do I see my mother and all my line before me. Fuck, I'm going to watch that for extra inspiration.
Okay. Okay. Droger, first act. You see the Jotun like trying to get up, but he's maimed. His leg has been removed.
And what are the others doing?
They are now looking in the direction of the screaming giant, but they haven't like acted yet. But they're all looking anyway.
And can I see? Is it just one of us that's kind of like stunned in fear at the moment?
Yeah, yeah,
And I can see that.
yeah. Like the rest of you are like looking like around, like trying to figure out what to do. But you see Gunnulf just like unmoving, staring in horror at the giant.
Okay.
I gotta say, guys, you've got big brass balls for fighting a giant in session one. I did not expect this at all.
Hey,
You
we're not
fuck
gonna
with my
fight a
daughter,
giant.
you
We're
force
gonna
me to
run.
fight giants.
Uh, let's see. I'm going to run towards Valdemar and try to throw him over my shoulder and run towards like the area where our horses and stuff were.
Do you mean Gunnulf? Gunnulf's the one who's afraid.
Okay, gun off. Yeah, sorry.
Okay, yeah, sure. Gunnulf wouldn't resist or anything, so just give me athletics to sprint with him.
16.
Okay, yeah. You like run and you like tackle him and pick him up and you start running for the horses. But the giant is gonna like swing his arm out in your direction as you flee to see if he can hit you. Roll this shit in bones. I mean, yep.
Are we still invisible, Lloyd, or have our illusions been broken because we attacked?
Yeah, it looks like you're visible.
Would I be able to use one
Oh,
of my cantrips as a bonus action?
Yeah, what is it?
I'm basically, as I am running and turning my back to this giant, I'm going to say another chant or prayer to Odin and call up a shield of faith to add another +2 to my AC.
Yeah, for sure. He critically fails as he misses you dramatically and like punches his fist into the earth, smacking off a rock, and he just goes.
I whisper thanks to Odin for his intervention on my behalf.
Yes, the gods are with you. Okay, Gunnulf, you can make a wisdom save.
15.
Okay, yeah, you're free. You're no longer paralyzed. You like wake up and or like come back to your senses, and you're being carried by Draugr towards the horses.
Yeah, suddenly I wonder why the scenery's flying past me.
Okay, Helgir.
okay. How far away is like the main host of people that's coming towards us?
From you guys, like 60 foot. Like the closest are 60 foot, but the furthest are like over 200 feet away.
How many of them are there?
In total, there's about 30 warriors.
Like near us. Like
Okay,
in a
there's
mass
5 at
kind
the
of-
yeah, there's 5 like together at the nearest campsite.
Okay. If I were to cast Hypnotic Pattern, which has the area of like a fireball spell, how many people could I get?
You could. What's the range on it?
The range is the same as fireball.
So it's like 120 feet, I think. Is it?
Yeah, I think so. It's 120 feet and it's a 30-foot radius.
Oh, you fucking hero!
40-foot
Yeah,
radius.
there's a big clump of them, like
Around the Raven.
yeah, yeah. There's 20 by the Raven.
Oh yeah. I'm gonna cast Hypnotic Pattern. So you see the Raven just like expand and contort and then explode into a field of colors that spreads out into the sky, and it just like dazzles everybody nearby.
Unreal.
And they all have to make wisdom saves.
Yeah, you can have inspiration. It's unreal. Such a good idea. Yeah. So the raven explodes in this pattern of runes that just spells their doom, and they're just like, okay. What's the DC for these guys?
15.
Okay. I can't even roll 20. Okay, let's see. Oh my god, guys, what the fuck? Okay, it's one success.
Yes.
Yes!
2, 3, 4. Okay, 5 of them succeed, 15 of them fail. So they're just stuck there, right? They can't move, basically.
Yeah, they can't do anything. They don't have any save or anything until they
Right.
take damage. Then they're
Okay.
knocked out.
That's unbelievable. So good. Okay, yeah, so this pattern explodes, and most of them are just like enraptured by it, like unable to move. Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah, and then she runs away from the giant.
Good call. Okay, the Axemen stand around, but the 5 who were not, they are going to move towards you. They're still 60 feet away. No, they're more than that. They're far away. And then the guys in front of you are also Axemen. They're going to move forward towards the giant and just like start shouting like, "What, my lord? What can we do?" And then they see Valdemar and they're going to try and attack you. So they rush towards you, Valdemar. Okay, so there are 5 of them. But these guys are somewhat shittier than the rest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, that's a miss. Miss. 17 hit you?
No.
Okay, does 18?
Yes.
Okay, then 2 hits.
I'm going to riposte the first guy who missed me. Try and cut him down.
Okay, sure thing.
Bill. He's a second superiority dice. For a 21 to hit.
Yes, sir.
I'll try and make that man fear so he can give me a wisdom save.
He gets a 15.
I think that's what he needs. I'll just double check for you. Yeah, he saves.
Nice. The 2 that do hit you do 13 damage total.
13. Oh, I thought only the 18 hit me.
No, there was 2 hits. Let me just. I can't
Okay.
scroll down. But yeah, there's 2.
Yeah, for that. Okay. And for that guy, he took 20 slashing, and is
Fuck.
not right.
You decapitate him.
I'm going to point to the other 3 and say, "The All-Father wove the skein of your life with mine own. Long before now, you're fated to die. You can run and hide in a hole, though it will do you no good."
Fuck yeah, man. Inspiration. Just pouring it. Heaving with inspiration. Unreal. Yeah, so you just fucking one of these guys' heads just like rolls, and the others are just like stunned, terrified at this giant harming or giant maiming, beheading monster. Okay, Ingvar is going to attempt to rise again, getting up, like pushing himself up as if he's doing a press up, and just look around. He's going to try and just punch you, Valdemar. He's not able to grab a blade or anything like that, luckily. And he's just going to try and punch you, see if he can manage it this time. I'm going to give him disadvantage, though, because he's barely able to move. So 20 to hit, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so large would be 2. Yeah, okay. Boom, 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 boom. You take 25 points of damage as he punches you.
Lord.
So he just like reaches out with a fist and like, please make a strength save.
Hang on, I'm just calculating what little health I've got left.
Yeah.
Okay. Strength save.
Oh,
17 plus 5, 23.
Yeah. He almost knocks you back off your feet, but you like skid in the dirt like a couple of feet and manage to maintain your balance. So he would do that again.
The music is reaching insane crescendo right now. I'm having to make real life will saves.
Yeah, 28 to hit.
Easily.
4 and 8 is 12, and 9 is 21 points of damage this time.
Yeah, I'm mangled. I crumple to the ground in a pool of widening pool of blood with like bits of guts and blood just spraying out macabre directions.
Yeah, you're knocked 30 feet back, and you skid into the dirt some area away. And he's just like screaming, roaring, his beard like just like dragging through blood on the ground that is now pooled all underneath him, steam rising from the heat of the blood. Okay,
He was hit 20,
warriors.
30 feet away?
Yeah.
Was he hit towards me?
Which way are you going? You're towards the horses?
Yeah.
Yes, he was hit towards the cart and the horses.
Thank God. Alright, I have a plan.
Small mercies.
Okay, the warriors, all of them are bound by the hypnotic pattern, so they just stand there like idiots. Valdemar, give one of them sweet, sweet death saves. Okay, you slip closer to death. You can see the cold wastes of Niflheim before you. Then the swordsmen are also all in the thing. No, some of them aren't, sorry. Okay, so these guys will move. Okay, so they rush towards you, but they can't get anywhere near you. Okay, Draugr, your turn.
Okay, so I imagine once he's free from the spell, I would sense that he's like moving and stuff. So I'm going to drop him, and I'm also assuming that I can see Valdemar's.
Yeah, you see his
towards us, right?
Body gets flung through the air like a rag doll and just like splat onto the ground.
Okay, so once I drop him from my shoulder, I'm going to run towards Valdemar, and I'm just tearing open my pouch, and I'm pulling out. I have some like salt and coin pieces, and I'm going to skid to a stop next to him. I'm going to sprinkle it over him and put the coins in his eyes, casting Gentle Repose, which basically there's no death saves or whatever. He's like frozen.
Okay.
And then I'm going to grab him and just start dragging him as fast as
I got it.
Okay, nice.
I got it.
Gunnulf.
I got
it. Is there anybody round about them, enemy-wise?
No, they're all quite far away still. They're all out over at the tree.
Okay, I'm going to move up to them anyway, and just, if I can, just ready an action for the first one that comes near.
Yeah, absolutely. So I can imagine like Draugr like bent over the body of Valdemar, like desperately trying to save him, and then Gunnulf just like runs up, skids to a halt, and just like stands there guarding over his Jarl's fallen form. Helgir.
Okay, so I imagine Valdemar getting hit and flying and then landing right next to her, and she just like screams out and kneels down, tears in her orange eyes, and they start burning, and you just see like these spectral wings just like sprout from her back, and she casts Fly and grabs them up. Just takes off.
Valkyrie.
Yep.
Nice.
Oh,
So good.
Just failed my will save.
Okay. The remaining axemen, they look to the giant. He's like thrashing about, and then they look to where you guys have gone. They sprint in the direction. They get to you, Gunnulf, so you can make your attacks.
Okay. Can I choose the reckless attack at this point?
Well,
No.
no. You can basically just make one attack, I think,
Yeah.
unless because you readied an action rather than delayed.
16.
That's a hit.
And that is, what's my damage again? 11 damage.
Okay, roll d10.
10.
Okay, that guy cannot take reactions. All right, you shock this guy as you slap him with your axe. Okay. Yeah, they attack you then.
Okay.
They're gonna get all around you. Get some of that nice flanking action. Okay, the first one. I should be rolling those default things. Okay, he's gonna miss. The next one. Yeah, that's probably gonna hit 19. Next one. It's a hit. And then 14. Pretty misses it.
Yep, misses.
Okay. So 2 hits. 10 points of damage. 2 axes stood into you. Ingvar continues to writhe in agony, and he you see him take his hand and it just erupts in flames, and he just thrusts it into the wound in his leg, and there's this, and he screams in pain. But the wound stops bleeding, and the leg is just separated from his body entirely, and he cauterizes the wound. The warriors are at the tree. Valdemar. Oh, you're.
I can't do anything.
Can't do anything.
Yeah.
Okay, swordsmen, keep running. Changing direction now that you will change direction. They're going to get to you, Gunnulf. Okay, so it's another 5 dudes. Actually, they're not even going to be able to get to you. I would say there's probably 5 people can stand around you at most and try and swing for you. All right, so they crowd around you. Actually, Draugr standing there too, right? So one of them goes behind you, Gunnulf, fuck's sake, and rolls a 18 plus 4 to hit.
Oh yeah.
Okay, and he does 5 damage. 4 of them run to you, Draugr, and try to stab at you for a 19 to hit. A 14 misses probably.
Yeah, that misses.
17.
That hits.
17. Okay, so 3 hits. For 18 damage as the swords dart in and out in concert. Okay, Draugr, your turn.
Okay, so we're basically surrounded at this point, correct?
You and Gunnulf are both surrounded, yeah.
Okay. So let's see.
Spirit Guardians. That'd be extremely helpful right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many of them is there? Just so I have
In total, around both of you, there's 9.
Yeah. 9, okay. I'm going to see if I can cause them to break, or some of them to break and run away.
Okay.
I'm going to turn and start beating my axe against my shield, and I'm going to use my cantrip of thaumaturgy to change my eyes to that of a raven.
Nice.
And try to basically use intimidate on them with
Okay.
that.
Yep, sounds good to me.
We'll see.
Oh, a crit. So a total of 24.
Yes! Unreal. Okay, yeah, so you start banging your shield and your eyes turn black as night like a raven. And even they see feathers and stuff behind you, like black feathers, and they start to back away, looking afraid, like you're some sort of avatar of Odin, the hated enemy of the Jotun. Nice. Gunnulf.
As the blades just dig into Gunnulf's flesh, his head bows down in pain, and then he raises his head with a demonic smile and rages.
Nice.
And he's going to reckless attack as well. on this one, since he's already... Ah, crap. Well, one's a 21, other one is a... somewhat a 13.
Okay, 13 is not going to hit.
Yeah. So that is 9 damage.
Is this the guy you'd hit previously?
He'd probably be the closest one, so yeah.
Yeah, you rend him and kill him. Okay, going off Helgeir. In the sky.
Alright. Yeah. I'm guessing I can't attack with him, like... on my shoulder.
No, you probably, if to certainly to shoot a bow. If you have a spell that doesn't have somatic components, then yeah.
Sacred Flame. Let's see. Yeah, she would fly so that she's about 120 feet away from the melee, and she would just call down like columns of flame on people that aren't unsuspecting enemies that get a little too close. So they have to make a dex save.
Okay.
Just one of them.
Okay, let's see here. It's a 8, so he fails.
Fails. So, yeah, just out of nowhere, like, this fire creeps up and then just explodes around him, and he takes, 3 damage.
Yeah, he doesn't even know where it's coming from, so he's kind of confused as he begins to burn, but it's superficial at best. Okay, there are many.
Like his cape sets fire.
Yeah, he's like, oh no.
Oh no, my favorite.
The Axemen are going to break and run in the face of this Odinic avatar, so you can make an opportunity attack, Dennis.
Okay. So that's going to be 18 to hit.
Yes, sir.
Okay. It's going to be 7 points of damage.
Nice. Yeah, so you got to catch one in the back as he runs away. Okay, so they run 60 feet past Ingvar, who's like lying on the ground, and then it's his turn. He sees them running and he calls them cowards, and he picks one up and fucking crushes them in his hand. Warriors are still stuck by the tree. Valdemar is not in the combat, and the swordsman also break and run from you, Gunnulf. Gunnulf, having seen that situation, so you can make an opportunity attack.
$16.
That's a hit.
Terrible damage rolls. 8 damage.
Okay, yeah, you catch one in the back as well as he's running away, and then continue to sprint. Similarly, Ingvar just grabs one and like picks him up and fucking throws him. So men are splattered everywhere. At this stage now, there's no one actually fighting you, and Ingvar is unable to follow. So you can, if you want to, run, or you can stay and butcher. It's up to you. But I would run.
Yes, I've tempted the grace of the gods enough, I think, for today. So I will head towards the horses and stuff.
Yeah, so we're out of combat now anyway. You can still hear the giant screaming in frustration more than pain.
Okay.
I was going to say Gunnulf would be still quite happy to fight being in his rage, but I think hearing the giant scream would probably bring him out of it.
Yeah.
Cold chills going up his spine.
Yeah, Berserker Rage can only go so far.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys can make like your escape, make good your escape, and probably like maybe an hour or two of hard riding and flying, land and maybe Seat of Valdemar.
Actually, as we're making our exit, I'll stop and spin around, look into the giant, and then yell out, "That was for Brenna. I will be back in the name of my son."
Fuck
And then I
yeah.
turn and join the others.
Gnarly.
Nice.
Yeah, you actually see a glimmer of recognition in his fucking huge eyes as he looks in your direction, but he just continues screaming in rage. Okay, so if you want to get back to civilization now, it's going to be an actual Nick Dawson skill challenge, 6 before 2 to get home without a complication.
Am I still gently reposed at this stage?
Can we bring him back up?
I would say you can, with the healing magics or whatever, you could bring him back to like a couple of hit points.
When he like Jon Snow's back awake, you'll see that his hair is like shocked like a silvery white now, having like lingered there in whatever the Norse equivalent of limbo is, and like the shock to his body from one punch of the fire giant. It's just like his hair had turned to white.
Dregar didn't even realize how tense that he was until the moment when the Jarl takes that breath and sits up, and it leaves him, and he can't help begin a soft chuckle that rises to laughter at what they've done now that the Jarl has returned to them.
Yeah. Unreal. I can't believe that you guys didn't die. I mean, I was pretty jealous of those guys running away, but you critted it, so I was like, that's got to happen. That fire giant's going to be pissed.
Yeah. He's gonna show up in like a red rat, one of those red flyer wagons. You can hold that much people. Come to claim my due. It's gonna be like a siege weapon.
Okay, yeah, so let's do this get home situation. See if you can get home. Now, it's quicker to get to Bjorg's home than it is to Valdheim. It's much easier. It'll be 4 before 2 to get to Bjorg's home, which is Stribjorn's hold.
Isn't that where we sent the people we rescued to?
I think
I
so.
ended up sending them to Valdheim.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
But it's a lot closer in terms of just pure distance traveled.
I'd rather try and catch up to the people we rescued and then escort them home. So I'd try and order the more difficult path. But I'm happy to be swayed by those wiser than me.
Well, Helgi has some spells. Could she use them almost like a replacement for a roll, or like?
Yeah.
They'd be extremely useful.
If you can explain to me how you do so, absolutely.
Oh yeah, definitely. So she would use her ritual for tiny hut to find shelter every night. Just like inexplicably, she would find some cave or some outcropping.
Yeah.
Or like sometimes a small hunter's cabin for shelter.
Yeah, absolutely. Uncannily, you find every night when you're looking to sleep, you find some fortuitous place to sleep, and you're able to like over the day or so, or the 2 or 3 days, always find some shelter, and you actually get some rest at night, which goes a long way to improving morale and healing your wounds.
I'll perform feats of athleticism, like helping friends across like chasms or ravines, like felling trees for camps or firewood, exerting myself to try and do as much, if not more, work than the men with me, or the men and women with me. 20.
Yes, sir.
If I can, I would like to use perception again.
Uh-huh.
But after our success of freeing the people and getting a bit of revenge for my wife and feeling that touch of the gods and their blessing on what we did, I want to use my cantrip of guidance to add the bonus to my roll.
Yep.
If I can. is a D4. Which I just dropped on the floor. So I gotta grab another dice here. So that would be, so that would be 3, 21. Yeah, that's going to be a lot. 27.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So you're able to find the way. You're able to assist with finding shelter, find food, all sorts of stuff. You're the eyes.
So, I know you're a really benevolent DM, Lloyd. And, you know, your judgment is always sound and fair.
And
I'm going to use survival, but I'm in possession of a hunter's kit and herbalist kit. So, using survival to make sure I can find enough food and just plants for any medicine for anybody that needs it, various things. Any chance I could add my proficiency bonus onto it as well?
yes.
Because we know what my rolls are like.
Yeah, you're going to need it.
Yeah.
I've already preemptively ready my action to say you can have my inspiration check.
Yeah, you should take it. You failed.
Yeah, I'm waiting for it.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
I told you.
Whose inspiration do you want? Mine's the bloodiest.
Just use it to kill me now.
No, take it.
There you go. There's a 20.
Yes, nice. Okay. No failure so far.
Can I ask, as we're on this journey, we are following the tracks of our people, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Okay, 4 successes. You need 2 more.
Who was next? Or can we just go?
Yeah, whatever. I mean, I think it was you went first, so. Oh no, it was Dan went first.
Okay.
I think it's me.
What other magic have you got, beloved of Frey?
I've got Find Familiar, and she can look through the eyes of it.
What is your familiar?
It's usually some sort of bird, so she can call
Right.
like a raven or a hawk. Or
What are
something like
our main challenges or obstacles that we'd be facing at the moment, Lloyd? I try and tackle those, make them less
right.
severe. Like either food, for instance, or exhaustion.
Exhaustion is the main one, I think. You took a really severe beating,
okay.
and it's also like a difficult a trek. You don't have any supplies since you left those all behind, so like gathering food's really important. But checks did really well in survival, so I guess you're managing. I guess
Then,
not being seen is a big deal since they are after you. So stealth would be a really good one,
Okay.
like covering your tracks and stuff. You know.
Yeah, I'll use.
Or preparing a kill zone to slaughter them in if they do catch up with us if we do fail.
Mm-hmm.
Preempting our own failure. That's pretty pessimistic, but that would be on my mind. Like, fuck.
Yeah, I'll use stealth. I could also use persuasion, but I'll keep that just in my hat. I'm gonna use my inspiration. Oh yeah. Fuck yeah, that's a 24.
Yes, sir. Just one more. Don't fuck it up, Valdemar.
Con save I'll do to push
Okay.
through the the Jotun's mangling.
Yep, nailed it. Unreal. Okay, so you guys make this
Great.
harrowing journey back, hunted by these guys. Occasionally you'll see them, when you camp at night, you'll see fires way off in the distance. But eventually you make it back to the safety of your Jarldom through the lands of Jarl Stribur, and at that stage they stop following, and you're able to make it back beleaguered and in bits to Valderheim.
I'll seek out Ruger and Stribjornsson.
Yeah, in the Great Hall. He's there talking with some of the Huskarls, like they seem to be planning something, and then they see you approach, and there's like cheers of excitement. And Ruga, like kind of forgetting his station, runs up and gives you this big hug. Um, and all of you like get clapped on the shoulder and just like excitement and delight at the fact that you survived. And he would say, How can it be possible? Did you slay the giant?"
No, we maimed Ingvar flame-tongued. His men are hot on our trails. Quickly, housecarls, gather your weapons. We go to dole out more vengeance.
Aye. They'll start smacking their hands in their chests, and they begin to get armed and armored.
And
I'll just ask if Agnar Brynjolfsson is around and if he has anything to report. And all the housecarls.
Yeah, he'll tell you in very few words that Jarl Striburon visited in your absence, asking about the situation at Felheim and where his son was. And that's pretty much it. Beyond that, he like dealt with a lot of mundane shit, like disputes between people. There was one particular drunkard who managed to kill a man in Valderheim, but he's being kept in a prison, in a jail.
You've done well, Brynjolfsson. You have my thanks. Turn to the cleric Freya.
she locks eyes and waits for what you're gonna say.
Oh, I interrupted you before. Sorry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, she just doesn't. She doesn't look happy because she didn't find her family in the refugees. So she'd be focusing on the task at hand.
Yeah, I figure, Jarl, if they were on our tracks, these flame cultists, I want to like backtrack as soon as I can gather men and slay them before they can do any more shit like this, and then leave Ingvar by himself maimed without the help of his minions.
Yeah. Okay.
Make sure one man in every three takes a bow or javelins.
Yeah. You gather your 50, and they get well armed and armored, and you ride out back the way you came, without a rest, without anything, no respite, just constant struggle, and you ride out. And then about a day later, you'll find them. This band, recovered now from the hypnotic pattern, also looking beleaguered and knackered. Exactly the guys that you had faced previously. You recognize some of them. Ingvar not with them. You
I'll just
outnumber
give
them.
the order for us to fan out and fire at them from a range before riding those left down, capturing every man who's shattered is our objective.
Yeah. You outnumber them significantly, and your warriors are of better quality, so it's actually it's mundane. As you say, you like fire at them from a distance. You take down a few, and you just ride them down brutally, finishing those, taking two of them captive. All the rest are slain. In the ferocity and like you can see your men just like so keen to hurt these people who have like done such damage to Felheim, killed people that they know well, and like caused you to nearly die. But you managed to capture two of them.
Once things, well, not even once things settle down, just still, as these men fall, I'm going to go through with my war axe and remove one of their legs. Just to like a half dozen or so, just to leave a little message.
Nice.
Gnarly.
How many men have we got mounted?
Less than half. You probably have 10 mounted men.
I'll take the mounted men with my house companions and the prisoners onto Stribuorn's hold.
Okay.
Taking his son with him.
Yeah.
And I'll leave my family with the Huskarls I send back in charge of Valderheim.
Yeah. Okay. With this many, you're able to make it to Stribuorn's hold without any issue, and you can arrive at the ancient once Jotun castle carved into the side of a mountain. Similar to most Jotun halls, it has a huge bridge out front, crossing a chasm, and you're able to ride across. Dismounting, you're greeted by Carls, the house Carls, and brought before Jarl Stribbjorn. He sits, as he's wont to do, on his large throne beneath the even larger throne that once was for a Jotun. One-armed, maimed. You were there at the day of his maiming. He sits talking to the red-haired Saith Carl that he has, a Sather, witch, magician, sorcerer, necromancer, any kind of bad word that you can think for a magic user. This is him.
Oh.
Shady beyond belief. He's covered his entire half of his body in tattoos. He wears loose-fitting red clothing and has bright red hair, which definitely seems odd to you after all you've seen, but he always used to dress like that. Yeah, he greets you. You're all Valdemar. Welcome to my hall. I see you have rescued my son.
Greetings, Jarl Stribbjorn. Thank you for your hospitality. Yes, Felheim, within my lands, that gifted to mine own daughter and your son in marriage, an alliance between us, was ravaged by Ingvar, flame-tongued, a Jotun, and his band of savage men. They wrought destruction and took prisoners for what one of them called, under great duress, great pyre. Come to seek your benevolence and wisdom upon this matter, Stribbjorn, that we may together, our two Yaldams, defeat this threat. I know well of your hatred for the Jotun kind. I know you'll be pleased to hear that we maimed this beast in retaliation for what he did to the people of our children. And I'll bring forth the two prisoners to bear witness to what I say, so he can't just say, "Oh yes, you guys say you killed her, or you maimed a giant."
That's exactly what he's about to say. Okay, yeah.
That's why I brought them.
Yeah. Did your ask? The two will admit to your story, and you'll see the. His name is Othir, the magic user. Look quite confused and concerned at mention of Jotun. And he'll kind of constantly be whispering in Stribbjorn's ear and say, "A Jotun, a real Jotun. You saw one. You maimed one. This is incredible. Events from the sagas."
I still bear the scars of its blood spatter. You can test these things with your magic if you wish to so prove my story. If my oath upon Donar is not enough, I'll say locking black eyes with Stribbjorn.
Yeah. No, I believe your testimony. It's just incredible to hear. What would you have us do?
I can attest to that the Jotun, having seen the Jotun before what we did to him. We've slain the men that serve him, but such as his ilk can readily accrue minions, men with foul hearts or cowards.
What would you have us do then, Valdemar? Ride north with an army?
No, we need only ride out and track this Jotun and finish him off together. Imagine the glory. Imagine the vengeance.
Yes. Yes, I think you're right. That's a tale worthy of the sagas. That's a tale worthy of the name of Stribbjorn. And even better if Valdemar added as an addendum to the end. No? He smiles. Yes, I suppose. I'll bring Othir here. And he points to some of his other, and he names them all, and they cheer in response. 10 or so men. Very good. Well then,
I wish not for the glory of slaying this Jotun, Jarl. If we do this together, let the glory be yours. I seek only to diminish the numbers of evil for Ragnarok. Say to him, a man might be thought wealthy if someone were to draw the story of his deeds, that they may be remembered. Let the skalds tell of Stribbjorn, Jotun Slayer. I seek only for Ingvar's death.
Yeah, he kind of grimaces at your honorable utterance. Valdemar, straight up and down, straight as an arrow. Always so honourable. You
We
do
all
me.
die as paupers, but for the wealth of our honour, I will say.
You do me discredit. You see me here, scraping after honour. Nonetheless, I'll ride with you.
As you say, Stribiorn, Jarl, tale for the ages.
Very good. I'll make preparations. And then the guy continues to whisper in his ear, and he's like nodding. He says, "Yes, please take meat and food. You must be exhausted. We'll leave in a couple of hours."
You have my thanks and that of my people, and then we'll take to the food and rest up.
Yeah. Okay. So then, we'll take a quick break. Gotta pee again. One sec.
So, Dan, how suspicious are you of this Saith Carl?
Super suspicious.
I saw
Yeah.
your face a few times during that, and I was just like, yeah. I feel like
Showdown.
I think I've made a mistake in reaching out to Stribiorn in this. I just don't feel like our Yaldam's enough alone to do it. And like if he kills like say 20 of our men, then that's nearly half of our forces decimated. So like if we fight this just by ourselves, it could ruin us even in victory, like a Pyrrhic victory.
Yeah.
That's my rationale for reaching out to this guy, even though, yeah, I realise now in retrospect it probably wasn't the wisest thing to do.
Wasn't
I'm
there
hoping that
another
Yeah.
Jarl up here?
Vidar, I believe.
Yeah, he's interesting. He's a half
Of,
elf.
Is he?
Yeah, that's my character from one of Lloyd's other games.
Oh, yeah, Lloyd told me about that. Oh, sweet. Oh, so he's right next door.
Yeah.
Being a half Jotun, though, would we think that he's probably more on the side of Ingvar than us?
I'm not sure what we would have heard about him. But
Yeah, I haven't learned anything in like the 4 or 5 games I've played as Valdemar of him, so I'm playing it that we've had nothing to do so far.
Yeah.
I know that Stribiorn is like greedy and proud, and I know that he hates giants. I also know that he hates me. I don't know if to the point of wanting to kill me, but he definitely likes to dominate me and be the big boy, which is fine. As long as he puts his money where his mouth comes when it comes to Ragnarok, I don't mind.
I'm sure if he was in a situation where he thought he could get away with it, he probably would try to kill you.
Right. For instance, like after we're all bloodied and mangled after killing a Jotun with our defenses down, and
Yeah.
he wants to take all the... Yeah, that's what I was fearing.
There's nothing we could do. The giant killed him. You know?
Yeah, that's it.
I need to
Fuck.
pee is code for I need to plot your demise.
Yeah, I need to upgrade the stats of this since you guys got XP from the Jotun maiming. I don't know. Yeah, I'm just feeling like death all around at the moment with you guys and 10 men. And this guy I know from the last time I adventured with him is like 950 troops or so.
Yeah, he's got a shit ton.
Stribiorn? Yeah,
I
he's
thought
got
he
a
said that he's
standing-
only bringing 10.
He's got a standing army of like 1,000 men. He's like probably the biggest military force, apart from there's a jarl in the south who's more king than the king, but Stribiorn's pretty much in terms of military power like number 2. Because of his position in the north, he like maneuvers a lot to get tides and money and men. Okay, so you guys head out. Then Stribiorn will line up his men, taking a small force of 10, I guess, is what you said.
Well, I've got 14 under me if he wants to take the same. I'd kind of try and maneuver it to be that way, and like saying, surely a Jarl and a dozen men is enough to do the deed, so that in his hall, if he wants to take more than that, they might think, ooh, is he a bit cowardly?
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's good. Yeah, in that case, he'll take as many as actually he'll take less. He'll say, "I have no need of armies. I have heroes by my side," and he'll take 7 of his greatest
Excellent.
with him. Yeah, and he'll ride north, following the trail that you had left only days previous. And with so many of you well provisioned and stuff, it's no problem to get there, and you'll get to the leg. And the once campsite, the leg is still there giving off heat, but no Ingvar to be seen. But there's an obvious trail where he has dragged himself somewhere further north.
We could use the leg to track his blood with hounds or something like that.
Yeah, Jarl Striburon gets off his horse and just like looks at the enormity of this leg. The leg has got to be like 20 feet in length and just like enormous, like a tree trunk, and he's just like standing next to it, just like scratching his head almost like.
Yeah.
I'll regale to him the battle with no word of bullshit or exaggeration, and kind of put it down to the gods' whim that what happened, it was all through their magic in their hand.
Yeah.
And try and tell him that the gods favour this course of action of killing Jotun. Obviously, they bring magic and power to us for this fight.
Othir will like get down and he'll like touch the leg and like close his eyes as he like mutters something beneath his breath. And he says, I know where he is. I can find him.
If we can find him, we can kill him.
Yes. I wouldn't be so sure, Jarl. These Jotun are the sense of power, even from this maimed leg. It's extraordinary.
Is there any way to destroy or sunder it so it cannot be reattached or used against us?
I could try.
You should do.
Okay, I'll need some time.
Why not ask the sorcerer? She says as she just like glances over at the tattooed man.
Yeah, that's who's going to do it. He steps up and he places he takes out of his pack all this weird shit, right? Like herbs and stuff, and he places them over the leg, and he puts candles at each end, and he begins to chant. And he does this for over an hour, getting slowly more and more intense. And at the end of the hour, his voice raspy. He'll like shout an exaltation at the end, and the leg will like go up in flame, and shattered and gone. All that's left is ash.
Not bad.
And he's like exhausted, like sweating, looks shaken as if like that took so much out of him. I've done it, Jarl. Yeah, so the heroes of Jarl Striburon are like eager to get going. They've like been bored, like pissing on trees and like spitting and drinking. In the meantime, while you wait. So then you follow the trail, I guess, through the snow. It's actually so obvious in that he's burnt a trail through the snow. The snow is like significantly less everywhere he's gone. You can just follow it. And just a couple of hours go by, and you approach. You come to like a path between two mountains, and in this path there's like a I don't know what you call it, like a valley, sort of like a bowl-shaped valley, and you can see it up ahead. And there is lying Ingvar, like propped up against the side of one of the mountains. And before him, he has like a wolf in one hand. He's chewing on it, and he sees you all ride up. This is to be the hour of my death. I would speak to you before you set upon me like ants upon a god.
We will give you the honour you did not give us when you set upon my people like a god among ants.
Dragar slides off his horse and he moves closer, but he stops as the Jarl speaks and begins pacing back and forth in a line in front of the Jotun, almost like a caged animal waiting to be unleashed on this thing.
Do you know what age it is? Have you forgotten all the prophecies? Have you forgotten all of the things that your gods have laid out?
No. Here in the north, we remember.
Do you? Perhaps you do. I have seen your kind scurry about, not noticing portents and omens that are obvious to even a child. We approach the wolf age. Even now, Hattie and Skull gain ground upon the sun and the moon. Soon there will be darkness, and Fimble winter will set in. And the final battle will approach. And you will all die. And it like echoes through the cavern. And Shribjorn's like looking like, what the fuck? Can you guys make a perception check?
Yep.
21.
Baby. 21.
Nice.
Dragar is too focused on the creature and his thoughts turning to the past to pay attention to what is going on around him.
Mm-hmm.
I only rolled 10.
Okay. Yeah, with the 21s, you guys both like so focused on the Jotun, are you? But you hear just slightly like a muttering, and you turn and you can see Othir. He's muttering, and he's like sweating and gaunt. And he as you turn, he begins to move his hands like before him,
As if he's about to attack us.
as if he's casting a spell.
At
What
us.
spell? What spell, Helgeir?
Can I tell?
You can make an Arcana check.
Arcana.
I'll aid you since I too saw this. I'll be like, what? What do we know of this?
Oh, you don't even need to aid me. Well, let's see if I crit. Holy shit! Okay. So I crit.
Nice.
What's it, 23?
Okay, you hear words in Old Jotun that he's chanting. Words like grow, connect, restore. He's casting.
I raise my bow, and I don't know if I can beat him to the punch, but I want to try to shoot him.
Yeah,
With,
I'll just call out Stribion. He's trying to reattach the Jotun's leg. He will doom us all. Cease your sorcerer.
He looks like shocked, and he turns to look at him. He's like, "Othir," and Othir just like exults the last word as you thud into him with an arrow.
I was gonna cast lightning at him,
Oh,
like
go
as
ahead.
an arrow, but
Yeah, do that.
well, could I kill him with an arrow?
Well, whatever you're going to cast.
Yeah, I was gonna cast lightning at him, but if it's not gonna stop him, I don't know. Whatever. I'll cast it at him. So he has to make a dex save.
Okay. I'm going to give him disadvantage because he's concentrating on this so hard. He gets a dex. He gets a 12.
Yeah, he fails.
Okay. Yeah, you thud into him and he fucks up the last utterance of the spell, and he falls from his horse, still alive, snarling. And you can see that the leg has appeared that he had burnt in a puff next to Ingvar, but not attached. Right? It's like an inch away, and Ingvar like looks in your direction and just begins to laugh. And it's our initiative.
Alright. He's gonna take a shit ton of damage. He takes 38 lightning damage.
Fuck, he's dead.
Yeah, he just like pulls the arrow back, and you just see like arcs of lightning spout off right before she shoots, and it just goes right through him and burns a hole through him. You just see the arrow just go off somewhere far away.
Yeah, it thuds right through him, and he just like fucking in his last utterances. Okay. Dun, dun, dun.
I'm going to turn to you guys and say, fear not, luck often enough will save a man if his courage holds.
Okay. All right, so Ingvar the Flame Tongue reaches out for his leg and pulls it closer to him and just holds it there and closes his eyes. Dragger.
As I see the leg appear, I'm going to lower my war axe and grab from my pouch and grab for that gnarled piece of wood and the dagger and spark it, and I'm going to cast it as from my 3rd level spell slot, so that'll add 2 more d6 to it. But I need to roll the hit first. So that would be 15. I think it's 6, so 21 to hit.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that's going to be 6d6 radiant, right in his face. Stupid Jotun, anyway. Let me get some more dice. Four, 6. Okay, here we go. So 3, 5, 11, 12, 13, 17.
17. Okay. So he's going to make a con save. I should do it in bones. Okay, he makes it. Okay, he takes 17 radiant, right? And the next attack has advantage, is that right?
Correct.
Okay.
Whoever attacks next.
Okay, Gunnulf.
What did you say the distance was between us and him?
I would think that you would think it would be safe to be 60 feet away, but if you wanted to be closer, you could have been. It's really up to you guys to decide.
Well, I probably would have been closer, but could I reach him with 40 feet
Sure.
of movement? In that case, I'll do that.
You're gonna run in and try to hit him?
Might as well.
Big brass balls.
I'm gonna rage on my way in, though.
Uh-huh.
And you said this attack has advantage?
It does.
So that's a 24.
That'll hit.
Do both my attacks have advantage, or is it just the one?
I think it's the first attack, is it?
Yeah, it says the next attack roll made.
Yeah. Oh, that's a 26.
Oh, yeah. 2 hits.
Excuse me while I'm off. 23 points of damage.
Very nice. Okay. See if you can make that con save. Nope. So he's holding his leg and he's like quietly saying things, muttering under his breath as you do so, and you just like barrel into him with your axe, just like hack twice into his other leg, and he has to call out in pain and loses the spell. Okay, Helgeir.
She's gonna shoot him twice. Aim for soft spots. Probably like the eyes or like the neck. Oh yeah, 224s.
2 hits.
Yeah. All right. She does 22 damage.
Very nice. Okay, yes. All right, Striburns warriors. They look to their jarl, like, what the fuck is going on? What's happening? Thing is dead. Like, they attacked our wizard. What the fuck is going on? So they're going to hold their action until he goes. Valdemar.
I'm going to hold my action and take it with my men.
Okay. The Jarl Striburn looks distraught at having lost who he thought was a great friend of his, and is confused, but he points towards the giant and says, "Kill it," and he will charge forwards with his men. So they will make just a ton of attacks. I have average damage and stuff for them.
I guess he has some spine after all. That's good to see.
He does indeed, yeah. He hates giants. Okay. Ooh. Oh. Yeah. So between the of them, I got 4 critical hits.
Holy shit.
Fuck. Okay. Yeah. So he takes just a fucking ton of damage. They like run up and with axes. They have like these big Dane axes. All these guys who consider themselves heroes think shields are cowardly. Just like swing these big Dane axes into the giant, like thunk into his side. Okay. And then Valdemar warriors and Valdemar. You muted, Nick.
Sorry.
I'm going to like clutch the amulet around my throat and utter quietly to myself, "Wodan, all father of the great oak, I've squandered my days with plans of many things. This was not amongst them. But at this moment, I beg only to live the next few minutes well, for all we ought to have thought and have not thought, for all we ought to have said and have not, all we ought to have done and have not done, and then raise my voice to men of the Vestfold, hear me, fight for those of Felheim, for the fallen." And we'll charge in unison, just like hoisting the boar spear of my people like a lance, while they like charge in, all mounted.
Yeah, you have inspiration.
Thank you, Lord. So I'll make my attacks. A crit, and going to use precision on the last one. 19 and a crit.
Nice.
I'm going to action surge. Ooh, a 16 won't hit him, right?
No.
Okay, but another hit. He has to make a wisdom save.
17 on the die.
Yeah, he makes it.
4 of your men hit.
$35 slashing from me. Oh, sorry, piercing this is.
Okay.
And the lance just ride my horse straight into his belly.
Nice. Yeah. Absolutely.
That's just for my first attack.
Oh my god.
Oh, I've got to roll 1, 2, 3, 4
That's
of those two. So add another 12 onto that. Sorry, Lloyd.
Okay.
And for the second one that hits. $16 plus 4, 20. Another 20 slashing plus 3, so 23 slashing.
Okay.
That's all I can do.
Nice. Yeah. Look, you begin to rend into him, like the spear like goes pretty much to like where your hands are at the very end of it, deep into this Jotun, and he roars out in frustration and anger.
Nice. Add 6 damage for keening as well. I forgot that when it crits, it gets an extra dice.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Okay. He goes next, and he is going to pick up his hand and just like sweep it before him, attacking all the guys at his side. So I'm just going to make you make a dex save, and they're all going to do the same.
Do you want me to roll for the Valdeheim men or you, Lloyd?
Yeah, you can roll for them.
They just shot him with arrows.
19 for me and probably a 17 for them, I'd say.
Okay.
I just gave them a +2 to their save, but
Yeah,
whatever
yeah.
you reckon, they rolled 15 on the die.
+2 is right. Okay. So they fail. You need an 18. Would you get Gunnulf? You good?
I did not get an 18, I got 17.
Okay.
If it's a dex save and you're a barbarian, you get advantage, right?
That was,
True.
yeah, that was with an advantage.
Okay. All right. So anyone who got below 18 takes 22 points of damage. If you succeed, you take 11. The ones who take 22 are knocked 30 feet back. Boom! Thunderous impact. A bunch of your men are bloodied immediately as they stood into the side of the valley. And he says, "I will not die like this. I will not. Master, save me!" They're
And
calling out in desperation.
Did Stribion or his men, any of them get hit?
Yes, big time. A lot of them got rocked well away. Stribiorn managed to make the save though.
Nice.
So now, like at the actual Jotun, it's like you, Stribiorn, Gunnels, and one of Stribiorn's men.
Rad.
The rest have all been like smashed away. Yeah, and he's like, "Master, I will not die like this. Save me!" But no master is forthcoming. Draugr.
I begin moving forward, slapping my war axe against my shield as I begin to chant. Just this one life to live, one single soul to give, one chance to cast my spark into the dark. And with that, I cast my Crusader's Mantle, which will give everybody a plus D4 radiant damage.
Oh, baby.
As I close on the giant, bringing my axe up and rowing out to attack.
Yes, inspiration.
So that will be 18 to hit.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's exactly what you need.
So that's going to be D8. This one. So that's 8. And then I need, what was it, the D4. And that's going to be, what did I say? 7 points of regular damage and 3 points of radiant. So 10 altogether.
Okay, just 1 sec. I'm adding up damage here. He might be done.
And I'm actually going to invoke my Divine Domain as a War Priest and get a bonus attack.
Okay, go for it.
So it's going to be 19 to hit.
Yes, sir.
So that's 9 points.
9.
11 points of damage.
Yeah, that does it. All right, so yeah, describe it.
So basically, yeah, I begin moving forward, beating my axe against my shield, picking up pace with each step as I give that chant, calling to the Crusader's Mantle as I charge. And I actually run and leap, because he's still sitting, right?
Yeah.
I'm going to jump up and run along his leg and jump up in the air and just bring my axe down right in the center of his face.
Yeah, you like almost fall down the length of his face and it like runs all the way down. And he like like sputters a little bit and he says, "I wasn't supposed to die like this." And then it falls limp.
Once I regain my balance, I imagine I probably have to release the blade as it's buried in him.
Yeah.
I'll stare at him for a minute, then I'll spit down on his body and say, "That is for my son." And then I'll turn and begin to walk away.
Yeah, so there's just like this yawning silence as like a bunch of men have been splattered on rocks, and Strigbjorn looks around at the ruination and the death of a giant. you stand here having slayed a creature directly out of myths and legends, and we'll end it there, I guess.
Lloyd, just before we do, the son of Stribiorn who married my daughter, is that his heir?
No, it's not.
Fuck.
Ooh.
I was going to kill him here.
Yeah, he's the fourth son.
Because his son is kind of nice and would be
Yeah.
good. And then I was going to say that I would make like the heir to my Yaldum Stribiorn and my wife, Stribiorn and my daughter's child, so my grandson, so that when he comes to primacy, those northern Yaldums are one.
Yeah.
So the
Yeah,
coming time. But if it's
Rugga-
fourth, it's not worth the risk. I'll just grip Stribiorn in victory.
Yeah, Rugga is. He wouldn't have married his first son.
Yeah, that's what I was figured, but I was still trying to claw.
Yeah.
Crawl on the ground.
Fuck, guys, I did not expect that to go that way at all. Unreal.
Awesome.
That was nice.
Damn.
You get like 1 million XP. I got to total it up, but it's shocking. But you'll definitely level. I think.
Ding.
For the experience.
Yeah, fucking hell. I thought that you would get to the massacre and be like, okay, we better go tell Stribion about this. Like, no, we're just going to go fight the giant. What? Are you fucking insane? And then you saw it, it was like 40 feet long. You're like, oh, we're going to fight it. I'm like, what the fuck are you doing?
It felt right.
Yeah, no.
And the god smiled on it.
Yeah,
It's
wild.
I blame the music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. There was some juju going on
spooky in
for the last 4 hours.
that Viking place, I guess.
Just like go.
I think if Vladimir's daughter not been one of the prisoners, we may have thought a little bit more about it.
Yeah, I would have been much more reserved and like calculating and fearful and cowardly if I wasn't connected directly to that Jotun.
The word is cunning.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll call it cunning. We'll call all of those one thing.
Yeah, shit. Awesome.
I think you should take the giant's head back and put it outside
Oh, man.
on the gatepost.
We'll
As a
give it to
warning to the others.
Stribion. We'll give it to Stribion to sate him.
For the eyes to gaze upon it and the crows to feast upon it.
Yep.
Are giant bones special or anything?
Probably.
I had the same idea with the leg. Make a leg
Yeah.
metal.
You'll definitely, like, you can...
Make a great sword out of that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, you would think they probably are. Like, no one's ever seen one, so there's no knowledge about
Build
it.
things out of them.
Yeah, I'll tell you what,
The world was
let's
built from the bones
split
of
some of
giant
this up. I'll take one eye, you can take the other, and we can split the teeth. Jotun teeth ought to come in handy for something.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, if they can
Arrowhead.
make something with our bones, then we should be able to make something with theirs.
Mm-hmm. Fucking sweet. Unexpected. So valorous.
Yeah, we were rewarded this time.
Goddamn
I feel like we
heroes.
used up a lot of our luck for next session today.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. I thought he was gonna murder the shit out of you guys when he charged in.
Yeah, same.
Yeah. I figured, like, once he had lost his leg, he just didn't know how to fight without a leg. You know what I mean? So he couldn't wield his weapon or anything really, and he was just like punching people. Like, if he had been standing, he would have been an unstoppable opponent. But I figured, like, he maimed him so badly, he lost like, most of his vitality through the loss of his leg, and then just like unable to maneuver and unable to like get into position or whatever.
And he crawled all the way up there in the
Yeah.
snow.
Plus, we came with 20 mounted men.
Yeah.
But it was mainly to hunt down a wounded animal, like, as far as we
Yeah.
were looking at it.
Yeah.
An animal too big for us. Yeah, I didn't want us to go alone against the Jotun and then have our best men, like, wiped out just to finish off a wounded dog. And
Yeah.
as it worked out, none of our men died and Stribion lost a host. So,
Yeah, worked out.
even though he's got many, many more to refill those ranks.
Yeah.
But I remember you saying he took his, like, best heroes, Lloyd, so...
Yeah, he did. He took like
Brutal.
his Huskarls and stuff, you know, the people he would think were...
Yeah, I know this guy wants to be my rival, but I'm going to work towards making him my friend, or at least like my ally against a common threat. The more I expose him to it, I'm hoping the more that he can be looking at that as an enemy than me. And I think he can see his son as a conduit to that end.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the death of Othir is a big deal as well, because Othir was obviously in league with the giants and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, we saved him from a serpent in his own garden.
Yeah. If you like initially the idea was that like you would go and Shugoin would be like, nah, it ain't real, you know? And didn't expect, like, I just didn't expect any of it. So it's like totally not the plan. Yeah, you guys can level as well.
Oh, yeah.
Level up.
Mm-hmm.
Ding.
Hey, Lloyd, when you said we entered Valderheim after, like, maiming Ingvar, you said that Stribjorns and Rugo was planning something with my Huskarls.
Yeah.
Can I go through them and ask them about that and just see what's going on there?
Yeah, he had been planning to go get you.
Okay, sweet.
Yeah.
Just don't want no Praetorian blade in my back.
Yeah. Yeah, your estimations of Ruga is he's not at all like the Stribjorns. Like, I think it seems
I
like...
was thinking of dishonoring myself and killing this ally right here with his men and any of mine who I thought would have like said anything about it,
Mm-hmm.
and then ride back and be like, oh, he's victorious and dead. He killed the Jotun himself. Glory be to Stribjorn and all his line. And now you are Jarl, my son-in-law. But yeah, he's very smart to not marry his firstborn in.
Mm-hmm.
He should marry above for that.
Yeah, like his first one would be married to like the likes of, you know, the big Jarldoms.
The plump Southerners.
Yeah, where the money is. Because like the
But
lands
none of
up
the
here
glory.
are big, whatever, but they're not very profitable in terms of like, a lot of tundra and snow and stuff. While in the south, you know, it's just rich farmlands.
So should we just put like giant body parts, and then we'll figure out what we can do about those later?
Yeah, I'll post I'll post in the group like what we can do with those. I'll have to think about it. I think they'll basically be like a nice crafting material for making weapons or whatever.
Yeah.
So macabre as well. If you meet other giants, it's like so dark. Yeah, we killed your friend. Now we're using his bones as weapons.
I've got this vision in my head of a jawbone being used as an axe.
Yeah, a great axe.
Hey, Hailgear, Freya was right. She smiled on our venture, and like we got much glory from the Allfather because of it.
Hmm.
Oh,
The
definitely.
dice were right. The runes we cast at the start were right. That's been reassuring.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean, when's the last time anybody's seen a giant, let alone killed one?
Yeah.
I'm
Although
surprised
part
we
of it
didn't
lay in like
murder.
treachery.
Yeah.
We like really did fight it dishonorably. There's no glory in that, and really there's not too much more glory killing a maimed dog, except if it's a giant.
Yeah. Like, I mean, you'll tell the stories, obviously, like it was glorious, but realistically, that guy was like badly maimed and crippled, and he was unable to fight almost, you know? Like, you'll know that, but no one else will.
I can imagine Stribjorn's bards, their pockets full, playing a very different tale to what actually happened that day, but I knew that was going to happen anyway.
Yeah. And
Fuck him.
Single combat, Stribjorn slew the giant.
Yeah. And Valdemar watched
With
while he
one
weathered
hand.
his hand.
Yeah. Valdemar and his men watched with tears in their eyes at the glory.
The cockcravers all turned tail and ran. But those who were there and their sons, they know the truth, and that's what really matters. And the gods know. Hopefully they watched.
It's good that was like one giant, right? Not like scary.
Multiple
Real scary.
giants.
The Jotun army.
He was calling
Most of
for his master as well, but the master never came.
There'll be a reckoning for that.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. So ability.
Yeah, with that giant Ingvar, like trying to dissuade us or whatever, or try and intimidate us with prophecy, invoking that we're fated to die against his kind in Ragnarok anyway. I wanted to say to that we're also fated to fight, like with the same brevity.
Yeah.
We're fated to fight, so it's like that argument would have no weight for us, I would think.
Yeah, it
Giant,
might for others, people who are easily cowed or whatever,
with
which
people of the gods or whatever, I'd think.
yeah. But I mean, he's the kind who just believes that your kind are lesser,
Yeah,
All
it'd take a lot of us to take him down.
Yeah, like all humans quake at his shadow, sort of thing,
Worldly patron.
I don't think that I'd bother rebuilding Felheim so much as strengthening Valdheim with those refugees and keeping Stribuon's son close.
That's probably for the best.
Just another outpost to be defended. Is there some particular worth of Felheim?
No, it was kind of the middle ground between your lands and Stribuon's lands,
Yeah.
But I mean, there's some good farming land up there, but nothing that would make it.
After this, the cost of rebuilding it and
exactly.
the time too. Not only the cost, but the time.
Yeah, and then you'd also have to send so many men to protect it now since it's on the frontier.
Yeah, we'll let Felheim keep its namesake.
Yep.
A kind of good place for